Speed.
Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast, where we're right on time in Mooch land. Listen, folks, we've got a big night tonight, all right? The panel's excited. I'm excited. That's just a good start right there. This is our time, folks. This is the weekend, and as hard as it is to wait for Tuesday to get here, this show's going to help you get there in a hurry. Let me start with some of my usual suspects. He was early today. That means he's excited because he's not being the diva he usually is. It's the Crap Gamer. Crap, welcome to the show.
And you know what's funny is when you watch the start of the show, the first thing you hear is me go speed.
Yeah, it is. I love it. I wish people knew that joke. It's funny as hell. But no, thanks for being here, bro.
I am happy to be here as always. It's a really cool day because the embargo lifted for the Xbox One X, so all the reviews are coming out. It's funny to see the damage control. Out of all the places that seem to be praising it, Digital Foundry, which maybe are most correct to do so, being that they have all the technical specs and analysis equipment, and a lot of these other places don't. But very surprising, very cool stuff. A lot of stuff to actually go over from a technical standpoint. It's really just impressive all the way around. But yeah, happy to be here. It's going to be a good day.
Oh, there's a lot to cover, Crap. And Digital Foundry is definitely going to come up once or twice today at least. Let me start. My next guy who says he was going to be late, but he is just such a diehard Crossfire fan. He's here on time. My boy, my paisano down south. Clowns, welcome to the show tonight, brother.
Hey, what's up, paisans? Always glad to be here. And I got a calzone that Crap can't steal, so we're good. We're good.
That's nice, buddy. I love it. I love it.
What's this joke, Clowns, about maybe EA putting everything behind loot boxes?
Oh, because it makes Assassin super happy because he loves loot crates. You know what I mean? It doesn't bother him, so I put it out there, and I want him to sign it.
That's so great. You're not going to get Assassin to do anything probably, but he's great. He is great. My buddy next started his own YouTube channel this week. Boombastic. Boom, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you tonight?
I'm doing fine, and I'm really stoked to talk about all of this Xbox One X goodness.
All right, well, buddy, you're going to get tapped on the shoulder to be talking your little heart out, because this is the weekend that everybody's got to voice their opinion. You've been waiting 3 long years for this. Let me get to some of my special guests. First guy, you know him from Console Corner. He's not shy on Twitter. Magic Mike, what's up, buddy? Welcome to the show tonight.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Mooch, thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be here. It's a great week to be on Crossfire because we got the One X coming up, and I know we're all so hyped for it.
You've been super vocal, Mike, so I really, really want to hear what you got to say tonight, because we're going to be hitting some – it's not going to be all rosy glow show tonight, folks, all right? There's a lot of garbage going on in the media. You guys are well aware of it. We're just going to bring it to the forefront.
Hashtag fake news.
Hashtag fake news is right. Tag Yahtzee.
You know how many people tag me with this shit, too? It's funny.
Crap. I really want to get into that, because it's like everybody just puts me and you in every tweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look at this. Guys, can you believe this? Look at this.
And somehow it filtrates right to Yoshida's house or something. And it's like, Mooch and Crap said, what? And we're like, we didn't say anything.
Yeah, we're just involved in
We're just there.
Randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, where's Waldo, the Mooch and Crap edition. Anyways, my buddy here, he's my boy from G4G, does a great job with Moxie, very opinionated as well. What's up, Avers? How are you tonight?
I am doing great. I'm excited to be here again with you gents and ready to dig into these topics. We got some good ones.
Yes, we do, buddy. Yes, we do. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to go ahead and say it above myself. I'm going to say he's the star of the show tonight. Okay, Alan Walsh is joining us here tonight. Started his own actual Twitter. He's got his own YouTube. He's got an Xbox One X, which basically makes him God himself. Alan, welcome back to the show, and we can't wait to hear what your experiences have been like this past week.
Thank you so much, Mooch. It's great to be back on the show. I've had an amazing week on Xbox One X, checking out everything the console has to offer. And I've seen the topics list tonight, and there's a lot of good stuff coming up.
Awesome, Alan.
Hey, you know what, Alan? I just want to also say that it was cool to see someone like yourself get one after all the people that I felt like didn't really deserve one. I was happy that you got one.
I really appreciate that, because honestly, I didn't think I was going to get one. I
Dude,
remember
we talked to you the week before.
Yeah, I said to you guys, and I was like, I'm not going to get one. But then randomly, just before my console came, I get a phone call telling me you're going to be getting one. And I'm like, holy shit, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Hey, can you
I was happy.
You know
what? I had heard of finally some decent people getting them. Some didn't want me to say who they were, so I won't. But, that makes it feel better. I was never, a lot of people accuse me of being jealous, and I was like, I'm not. You know what I mean? It would have been nice. I never actually put in for one. I've never had any contact with Microsoft PR in the past. So You know, it's not like I was expecting one, but it is cool to see some actual fans get them instead of just people.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you right now, you know, usually we like to let the audience kind of shuffle in. Everybody's kind of taking their
They're
seat.
shuffling in fast.
They are. Well, it's a big night, crap. It's a big night.
Yeah.
But, you know, realistically, I usually like to save the meat and potatoes for the middle of the show. But in this case, there's just so much show to talk about. Let's just get right into it. And, Alan, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. Here's the thing. You start where you want to start. You can start with just the anticipation and wow factor of going from someone who wasn't sure if he was going to get one. Because who knows who's ever really on these lists, right? I mean, me and crap, no, we're not. But I mean, right? There's something you can count on as sure as Monday. You got to go back to work. But I mean, other than that, you can start there. Or, you know, one of the things I'm looking forward to is your experience from when you got the device itself, when you hooked it up, and what you did procedurally to go through and get yourself from the S ready for the X. So, I mean, how do you kind of want to start? Right from when you got it? Was it just like wow from the get-go?
Yeah, pretty much. I had already backed up my Xbox One S settings and a bunch of games onto an external hard drive, so I was already prepared for it.
Okay.
So when the console came and I opened it up, I was just absolutely astonished. I spent a good few hours, you know, taking photos and getting video content, my unboxing prepared, so I didn't get to plug it in straight away, but once I finally plugged it in, I had my external hard drive popped in as well. And this is one of the things that really surprised me. When the console turned on, it had already been connected to my Wi-Fi network because my external hard drive had those settings saved. It had my gamer tag already on there. All the console had to do was literally download the day one update, and I was on my home screen. That was it. I had to enter my account password, and that was the only thing. I was already on the home screen in just a few minutes. Everything was set up.
Now that's awesome. And I did watch a video on it. That is amazing, actually, Mike. You're right. The thing about it, I watched a video today that Xbox put out themselves, and I believe Larry Herb was doing the voiceover. And that's part of what you said when you downloaded all of that information onto that external. When you plugged it in, all of that, your dash, your username, your favorites, your this, your that, every save you have was in that one click when you brought everything over. It's in one of the settings options. That's why when you hooked it up and you turned it on, yes, you have to do the day one update. Once that occurred, this is seamless, right? No issues?
Totally. No issues at all. I was honestly really surprised by it. And because I had all my well, not all of them, but I had a bunch of the 4K assets downloaded to my hard drive, it literally meant it was just a plug-in-and-go experience. I also used the same cables from the Xbox One S, didn't change any of the cables. Everything was left set. It was literally take out the console, put in the X, plug the cables back in, turn on. That was it.
Now, all right, quick question, because I watched a breakdown of an unboxing, and somebody had said, I believe it was, believe it or not, I think it was Giant Bomb. If you please don't watch their unboxing, that'll put you in the depressant coma. But one of the things they mentioned was that the HDMI is supposedly an upgraded HDMI cable that's with the X. Did you see no like difference as far as aesthetics or?
As far as I know, all the Xbox One HDMI cables are the same.
Okay, that's fine, and that's good for all of us.
Totally. No, because the S obviously has the 4K rated cable as well.
Right.
Because it has 4K media features. It has to have the same cable.
That's what I was going to say. There is a difference between HDMI cables, but I think if you're upgrading from the S to the X, you don't need to worry about swapping the HDMI cable out. If you have
already 4K high,
right.
Yeah. So
they already support HDR and all that stuff.
2.0 or 2.2 or something.
It's category 2.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, if anybody in the chat, by the way, or not in the chat, the chat as well. If the chat or the panel has any questions for Alan, don't. This isn't just a one-on-one with Alan. I really want to get into everyone's opinions and questions. I know I just have a few written down that I'm dying to know. Myself personally, I'm going shopping tomorrow for a new external. I have a 3 terabyte currently. What is it? Western Digital. My book. But everyone on the web is just like, you gotta have an 8 terabyte, Mooch. You don't have an 8 terabyte, you're wasting your time. You don't have an 8. We don't have an 8. Hey, people are giving you that look like you have 5, and they look at you in utter disgust. So I mean, what is an 8 terabyte necessary?
Well, it's funny you say that because I have been thinking of getting an 8 terabyte, literally just to future-proof myself. I don't think today it's necessary. At the moment, I'm only using a 2 terabyte external hard drive. Yeah. Literally one of the small Seagate Xbox branded ones. That's what I'm currently using, and it works really well.
Well, in Mooch, I mean, if you already have, what do you say, you have a 3 terabyte right now?
I do.
Instead of going out and buying an 8 terabyte, buy a 5 terabyte and a USB hub. You'll save yourself some money.
That's probably the way to go. I mean, now the USB hub, I mean, it depends. I think the answer is going to be no, not a big deal. But is that going to differentiate into the performance and speed because it's passing through there's another pass-through involved with the hub?
No, I mean, I use a hub on my 1S right now, and I see no problems with it whatsoever.
Rand says he's got 14 terabytes, which I mean, well, Rand also has like 1,000. He doesn't just have a lot of commas in his gamer score. He's got them in games owned as well. He's got
when I get my X, I'll have 14. I have a 8, a 5, and then it'll be 1 in the X. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm running 12 terabytes right now.
I actually don't have. Oh snap! It's Mel says size matters.
Oh,
damn.
There it is, Mel.
Well, I mean, listen. Because for one thing, right? It's easy to just go, oh, well, just delete stuff. Then you forget what you have, and it's like, you know what I mean. So you like, I like to have my stuff installed.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know what's going to happen. So
yes,
definitely go with the splitter because you've got that 3 terabytes. You already have stuff installed on it. Why waste the time transferring all that onto an 8 terabyte hard drive? Just get a 4 or 5 terabyte and get the splitter. I think you can get a 4 terabyte hard drive now for like $100.
Let's talk about this for a second, guys, because a lot of people in the audience are definitely interested in this. This isn't just tech talk. I mean, everyone on Tuesdays, for the most part, I would say almost everyone in the chat is getting, if they're not getting it Tuesday, they're going to get it by the end of the week. When this X happens, I mean, so I like the way Mike's saying that. I actually thought about that. Mike's saying basically, why would you re-download everything to another larger one if you're in the case like myself where I think I still have another maybe 20% left on my 3 terabyte. So I could just unhook that, plug that into my X, and then just like Mike's saying, grab a 5. But that takes up 2 of our USB slots of our 3 available.
Yeah,
I'm personally
where the USB hub comes in.
Right. Now, where's your USB hub on your S?
I've got it plugged into the back. My external hard drives are all behind my S, so they just all sit there. They're out of sight, out of mind.
Okay.
They're plugged in, and they all work seamlessly. I've got 2 externals and then the internal. So right now on my S, I'm running like 8 terabytes total. And so once I go to the X, I'll only have 7 terabytes because I'm going from the 2 terabyte S to the 1 terabyte X. But I still feel like 7 terabytes is going to be enough for me because, like what Crap was saying, it's really, really nice to have your games installed. But at the same time, I like having extra space for new games. So if I play a game that's a single player game,
to be fair, I did delete. I deleted like Forza 5. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah,
need
there's going to be some games that you're not going to need that have massive amounts
Destiny
of data.
1. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying?
A good
Some of
example
the older Call of Duties. I didn't give 2 shits about Ghosts or fucking Infinite Warfare. You know what I mean?
Or even like, your Xbox 360 games, they're small enough that they don't really make that big of a difference. But, like, what was it? The Resident Evil bundle came out about 6 months ago or so where it had Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah,
and,
and
it was on sale.
I love those games. So, of course, I bought it and I installed them. But, like, when am I going to go back and play Resident Evil 4 again after having gone back and played it again just within the last year? So that can be deleted.
I've never played it. So I bought that same deal. It was a mistake. Remember, it was like for $20 or something.
Yeah.
And it was like Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, and even some other ones. And I bought it for like $20, and I haven't played a single one. It was like the remake of 0 and some of the other ones. So, yeah, I haven't played. I haven't even played 7 yet. I'm waiting for the X.
Man, you and me both. I cannot wait. You
guys are kind of going into the next subject, and I'm going to come back to the storage and hardware in a second.
Your subjects, Mooch. I'm just that good. I could just,
You did. Well, I don't read any of the Xbox Nation.
I know you don't. That's what nobody does. That's why I don't even bother posting them anymore.
I know. I noticed you were like, I'm not going to put them out there, which sucks because I like to use some of them for Friday. But anyways, look, all right. I don't just mooch games. I mooch ideas. No, what I wanted to say was this. Look,
that's a good one.
That's right. It's not who did it first, folks. It's who did it best. Now, what I'd like to say, all right,
you wanted to say that we could have bought lots of fancy hats instead of buying an Xbox One X?
Oh, crap. No. Don't jump. You jumped 3 categories already. Hold on a minute. Hold on. No, I want to get back to this. Alan, you've noticed that game updates are coming up like handsomely and fast. So
yes, today especially.
Yeah, today was on fire, right? What came through today?
Tomb Raider, Killer Instinct, Forza 7, Halo Wars 2, Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Path of Exile, Quantum Break.
Pretty much them all.
Titanfall 2.
F1 and Project Cars 2 were updated as well. Literally a ton of games today.
What have you played that's recently enhanced, Alan?
Forza 7.
Well, here we go. Mr. Forza himself, folks. Big surprise there. Have you played Gears? Have you tried Halo? Have you tried Rise of the Tomb Raider? Any of these?
I've tried all those except Tomb Raider. I still have to try Tomb Raider. Gears 4 was the first game I played on my
How did that look, Alan?
Unbelievable.
Oh, man, I can't wait,
And
dude.
that was on a 1080p display.
Wow.
You don't have your 4K yet?
I don't have a 4K yet, but you know what, right? After seeing the leap from S to X on a 1080p display, I don't envy the 4K owners as much anymore.
Wow.
Because
you know what,
like,
Alan? We got to take you to GameSpot. Sit down with those jackasses over there and explain that to them.
Yeah, they were all like, oh, this is probably jumping topics too. Like, don't buy it if you don't have a 4K screen. But you would pretty much argue that fact, huh, Alan?
yeah, like beforehand, I was probably like thinking, yeah, you probably need a 4K display to get the most benefits out of this, and that still holds true. If you want every pixel there, you still need a 4K display. Like, that's obvious. But I was surprised by the difference in games like Gears 4 going from S to X. Like, it literally looked perfect.
No, that's what Microsoft's been pitching. That's what they're pitching to everybody.
Yeah.
Is that the 1080p, you're still getting enhancements, folks. Don't listen. There's no way in God's, and I don't listen. There's people on the panel right now. One of them being Alan that has the console. Okay, so anyone that's like, oh, Mooch, screw that, man. They're the media. They've been working on this thing for. No, stop it. Just stop right there. Those guys out there in California that are doing this in San Francisco, they have no idea what they're. Half these are just kids. If you were buying a car next week, and all of a sudden you got Ryan McCaffrey and Mitch Dyer walking up to you, like, nah, you don't really need air conditioning. We just roll the windows down and save the environment. Get the hell out of my way. All right? Stop it. Just
Wow, that's
let's get real here, folks. Okay, this thing does what PS4 Pro don't. And
they are who they said we thought they were, right?
That's exactly it. They make your 1080p TV work just as hard and do what it's supposed to do with the textures. Right now, I mean, you guys can speak a little bit more to this, Alan. What is it that you saw like pop on the Gears 4 experience that you didn't see prior using the S?
The level of detail on the faces, the hair, and the environments, and the lighting as well. And again, not a HDR display, but the lighting was just immaculate. The night skies in Gears 4 with the way the moon shines and everything is just unbelievable. And the reflections on the ground, on wet surfaces and things is just brilliant as well.
I'm going to have to replay that now, Alan.
Well, that's
absolutely.
the thing.
You know what? We should team up and do a 4-player co-op to the whole game.
You can only do 2-player co-op.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of Gears 3.
Yep. Sorry about that, folks.
Alan, I have a question for you.
Yeah, sure.
Another thing is the load times. Have you seen a significant increase?
I wouldn't say like significant, but there is definitely it definitely feels faster and snappier overall. It's hard to test load times because there's so many factors with like external hard drives and internal hard drives. They affect the speeds, whether the game is using full 4K assets or it's not, and things like that can completely vary the loading times.
Well, I'll tell you something now. Alan makes a point, okay? And he says he hasn't noticed. And Alan, by all means, I do completely respect that. I have watched a few videos, though. And someone did a video on Witcher 3. And the Witcher 3 loading screen, which we all know, like you sometimes would start playing that and you had to shave by the time the game started.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, I think it was clocked at 45 seconds on the X and 1 minute and 45 seconds on the S. That's substantial.
That's a huge difference. I still need to check out The Witcher 3 on this, but I think some of those open world massive games like GTA is another one, they are going to have drastically reduced loading times. It's just I haven't gotten around to those games yet. There's so much stuff. It's really hard to get through everything.
And I think another one like that was Assassin's Creed Origins, similar to The Witcher 3. It was like almost halved by the amount of time it took to load the game up.
Right. And I have that one downloaded as well, and I still haven't had a chance to check it out.
That's actually going to be my next question, because I know Assassin's Creed is supposed to look amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I was waiting for the X enhancements to come out, so that's why I haven't played it yet. I still don't think my console actually has them downloaded for it yet.
Alan Savage, Super Chat. Welcome to Super Chat, Mooch. You got a 20 spot, bro.
I did. I saw that. Thanks, Crap, for announcing that. Everybody,
Mooch was like, how do you do that, Crap? And I'm like,
yeah, I'm like, what is that? All I see is whenever I'm in Crap's show, I just see like these. It's almost like it's you got a deal or you want a deal. Every time Crap says something, like dollars are falling and like glitter from the sky. I'm like, what the hell's happening? I'm sitting in my room. There's nothing happening. So yeah, well, you know what's funny? It's clicking a button. Yeah. Well, by the time it gets to me, I'm gonna get 2 cents. Thank you, YouTube.
It's the thought that counts, man.
It is the thought that gets. I thank Alan tremendously.
Yes, Alan,
absolutely.
What a savage.
Yeah, but you know what? So, what's your advice then out of the box? I mean, Alan, you got so many things in that console review package. I mean, someone like myself, a diehard Mooch. I saw that and I'm like, Lord in heaven, give me half of those codes.
Yeah, when are you giving out some of those codes?
Yeah, well, no, but I mean, that's a tremendous, and I'll tell you something too, Alan, that booklet is intense. That's a collector's item.
It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. And it also has a page dedicated to 1080p TVs as well.
Yeah.
Which actually brings me on to something I wanted to mention earlier, is that if X didn't have big enough upgrades on 1080p displays, they would have restricted review units to 4K TV owners.
That's a good point.
True.
Because let me tell you something right here. Sony restricted PS4 Pros to 1080p, or to 4K owners, sorry.
Really?
They restricted PS4 Pros to 4K TV owners. Yeah, because I remember when they emailed me about a unit and I said what kind of TV I had, they're like, we're only doing these for 4K owners.
That's ironic. I thought they
How
would
they
restrict
know?
it to 1440p.
Here's the thing though. Here's a good little piece of news about the Xbox One X that it's another bonus that the PS4 Pro doesn't do, which is it supports a 1440p display. Like a lot of people, even my brother Hellhammer has a 1440p monitor, and so it'll output at that native resolution.
Yep.
On PS4 Pro, you're either 1080p or 4K. There's no in between. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And not only that, it's so funny because I was like, I got this new TV, and this new 4K TV that's in my room, and I was like, well, let me unplug the PSVR and I'll try the HDR out on this. So I hook up my PS4 to it, and it goes, you don't have a 4K TV. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was
so
a big
it's like
problem
we don't
when the PS4
detect
Pro
it.
launched.
You know what the problem was? The HTCP, which you got to fucking manually turn on and off.
Yeah.
Like if you want to capture stuff, I forgot, and it wasn't turned on. So you can't get HDR if you don't have that shit clicked on. So I was like, this is retarded, you know? And yeah, so it's like it's like it's such a pain in the ass. Like as a PS4 Pro owner, it's like I got to unhook my VR. Then I got to make sure the HTCP is turned on, and then I got to make sure boost mode's turned on for all the shit that this thing's supposed to do.
Now, everybody, I hope everybody's paying attention to what Crap's saying, because nobody covered any of this in the gaming media.
Nobody did.
Nope.
No.
Nothing.
The HTCP stuff on PS4 is ridiculous. Like I've tried capturing on it a few times, and I'm getting screen flickering issues. I'm trying to think, okay, why is my screen flickering? What do I need to change in settings? And I'll be there fiddling with it for a few minutes, and I'll finally get it working at some stage. It's just so unseamless. And then if I want to quickly check a YouTube video maybe on the PS4 just because I have it on, it's like, oh, then I have to go back and turn back on HDCP and all this, and it's just... It's
not only just that, but it's like, yeah, it is. It's complicated. Like a lot of people don't know, I have this really terrible NAC 1 footage where it looks like I can't see anything. The reason why I can't see anything,
we all know that footage.
Yeah, it's because the HTCP wasn't working right. So I couldn't see what was going on. I'm just like, I'm like, screw it. I'm just gonna capture this footage of me just pushing buttons, running around with NAC. I just needed like 6 minutes of footage, and so that's how I got that. And and then finally, and it still gives me trouble, you know. And I have an Elgato HD60S, and it still gives me trouble. Yeah, it's like I gotta. Sometimes I'll have to hard reset it, and just to get it to work, and even after I click that off, so it's a real pain in the ass.
It's almost like they didn't think things through really when it came to the Pro and making sure everything works seamlessly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
another example of that wasn't there an issue for people that had the Pro on 1080p screens where it was, doing the downsampling to 1080p, which was actually causing games to run worse than on vanilla PS4s?
Yeah, that's still a problem with some of them. You have to see, this is the problem, right? Like, as much as people were like trying to downplay the Xbox One X, look at the install sizes. It's this, it's that. Nobody really said any of this bad stuff about the PS4 Pro, which you need to have boost mode on, and there need to be patches for it to really work. Whereas every game, even without a patch, here's a good example of that. Assassin's Creed Unity, the game that's absolutely a monster on CPUs, right? Like the biggest of all time. This is why the game ran so bad on Xbox One and PS4. This game, without the patch that locks it at 30 frames per second, was running almost 60 FPS without a patch on the Xbox One.
That's right. I saw that.
So that's incredible. The fact that unpatched that game can get that high. And again, the PS4 Pro, there's no comparisons between these two consoles. You know what I mean? Like, I know that a lot of people don't want to believe it, but you're getting like $600 more for a $100 more price tag. So it's incredible.
I'm glad you saw that crap. I did watch that video too with the Digital Foundry. We can kind of get into that. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on YouTube. He's
impressed.
He's impressed, but it's funny. Yeah. He'll sit there and he's like, "Well, everything looks actually quite well. It's decent. Everything looks good. However, don't forget this isn't the say or end all for next generation, folks. You get a compliment and then you get a kick in the teeth. You immediately got to step back. You know what I mean? It's like when you peel off that instant winner at McDonald's off the cup and it says instant winner. You're like, yes, and then it's like you want a small fry. You're like, fuck! I'm still. I'm like, here it comes. Damn it! It's like he just kind of lets you down at the end. I mean, overall, Digital Foundry is on board with the X. I think things are looking positive on that front. Technically, it looks good. They did, of course, they did a technical analysis, guys, on Just Cause 3, aka the dumpster fire of 2016.
Yeah. And it was still a dumpster fire.
I mean, we all know that the one thing Microsoft doesn't really brag about too much with the X is the CPU, right? They've definitely enhanced it, but it's nothing exactly to write home about, which is why they did that whole thing Crap's talking about on Unity. It's why we saw them take out Just Cause 3 and use that as an example. But still, even though it didn't perfect it, it still held Just Cause 3 to a pretty close 28, 29, and 30 frame. It wasn't locked, but that flexibility where you saw the original dip into the low teens. So it still did its job. That's in my personal opinion. Absolutely. Yeah, but totally. it's all in the presentation, Alan. And so let's get into this. So Alan, when you got the actual console itself, I remember me and you were writing back and forth in the DM. I'm like, oh my god, what's going on? What's happening? How is it? Blah blah blah. And you're like talking to me. And you were saying to me, Mooch, the thing is, I don't have a whole lot of games to play on it because there's not a whole lot of patches right now. I'm enjoying what it is, but at the same time, I haven't gotten a chance to test its true power. Now, today's a whole different story. But the problem is, right, is that the problem, though, Alan, I'm noticing is why did Microsoft decide to lift the embargo today and not wait till Monday? Because you've got all these people that can't wait to run. I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Airplane. When news broke, you had 65 different reporters running to the phone booths, and the phone booths all just like fell over because they all went in at once. Like, that's the same thing with YouTube. Everyone's like, the embargo lifts at midnight. Everyone's like, 3, 2, 1, send it. And there was no games to talk about. So do you think this was a good thing or a bad thing in your opinion, Alan?
Yeah, I think they could have held it off until Monday, especially considering that people only got their review units over the last few days, like myself. Like, some people had them over a week ago. Some people only had them this week. Right. I think, like me personally, I wouldn't have been able to review it today because even if they had all the updates out, it's still not enough time to go through everything that I want to go through. So it's like, I think having the embargo the day before release would have been good. I guess for them, though, it was either a case of doing the Friday or the Monday. And if they did the Monday, that might be, for them, that might have been a bit too close to release. Like, they probably want to hype it up over the weekend and in the days leading up to launch.
That's what I think.
That's why they wanted this coverage out so soon, because they actually wanted it out even sooner. The embargo was supposed to be Wednesday, but got delayed.
Yep. Yeah. You know what the real problem was, Alan? And I don't know if you're privy to these, but I actually got their roadmap, their Scorpio roadmap some time ago. And the problem was their certifications weren't until the end of October. It was like the 27th or 28th. So that was like 100% the holdup. Like, me and Mooch have been saying for a long time, they should have released this console a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it would have been much better. You know, I mean, you have Call of Duty out, which is patched, but apparently nobody can say anything about what it is actually. It's patched with 4K HDR, I'm supposing, but
can I be the voice of of reason just for a second? As far
maybe
as
for the once in your life, Mooch.
Thank you. Let me get my 5 seconds. Let me get my 15 seconds of fame. Here it is, guys. Microsoft's main, and it's hard to say because this is a double-edged sword here. Microsoft's main concern is the consumer. And all right, when you're a customer that's not paying attention to what the guys at GameStop or GameSpot or these guys at Giant Bomb are saying, most people in the casual market aren't paying attention to any of this nonsense. When they go to home to take this box home, they need to make sure when they plug it in that these games that they've promised would have an enhancement. So Microsoft is fulfilling its word for the consumer. But the problem is, so that's why I don't really have a problem with this. As long as by Tuesday, when I bring home when that Xbox is here, I want to make sure that I have my games intact and I'm playing them in 4K. I don't really care that Jeff Gertzman didn't get it on Friday. Okay.
Right.
You know, I don't really give a shit, and the problem is how dare these people actually critique it and call it a minus? That's not really a minus. You're upset because they didn't have the content out for the reviewers. Now, you could turn around and say, well, Mooch, if they knew they weren't going to do that, you should have just had it released on Monday. I agree. I'll go that far.
Well, but they couldn't really do that because then everybody would be wondering,
they could have lifted the embargo. They could have lifted the embargo on Monday.
Well, but if they'd waited until Monday to lift the embargo, all weekend long, everyone would be saying like, oh, they've got an embargo because they don't want people talking about it. And they don't want people to get the information. They want to wait until the last minute. So, I mean, realistically, what I don't understand is why aren't these like a review in progress? Why are people giving their final opinions now when we know that there are
IGN was a review in progress. The funny thing was, and somebody wanted me to say this too, was I believe GameSpot, who still haven't done a Gran Turismo Sport review.
Exactly.
Because
they're waiting for the championship.
Yeah, they're waiting for the championships. Yeah. But then all of a sudden with the X, they're just like, there's not a lot to review here. And, so if you don't have a 4K TV and, it's I wouldn't even get it. Hey, we got like 550 watching and only 162 likes. So, come on, you guys. Quit being lazy.
Crap is the like police. You hit that button, folks.
Yeah. Call me crazy for a sec, but what if they had capture and impressions embargo for today and a reviews embargo for Tuesday?
That probably would have been good.
That would have been fine.
Because because what they were doing was already fine, where they had people unboxing it and stuff. Like, I thought that was good. Like they had, iJustine and Boogie Woogie and all those people out there.
Well, you know what's funny, and I'm glad you brought that up. Crap is iJustine did her unboxing and I watched it, and then I watched Giant Bomb. Giant Bomb. 3/4 of their unboxing was complaining about how heavy it was, and iJustine was actually twirling. iJustine was twirling it on her index finger like a Harlem Globetrotter.
Let's not forget that women crank out 8.4 pounds every day, and these people are complaining about a console that weighs 8.4 pounds.
But I mean, it was just interesting. iJustine was completely. I mean, she was pumped about the damn thing. She said it's great. I can't wait to get. And she goes, all my friends play on Xbox, and she goes, they tried. Some people in the business tried, and it was funny. She's like, some people tried to get me to go over to PlayStation. She's like, but I just stay on Xbox. So that's where my friends are. And she goes, this console's amazing. And I mean, such a positive look at it. And don't get me wrong, I don't expect everybody to be as positive as that. I understand that. But to sit there and watch Giant Bomb take out the X, put it next to the S, and then put it next to the Day One, and then actually critique the X and say that the S was the best design they've ever seen. Which
a lot of people said that.
And they didn't say that last year, though. They didn't say anything about that. They're like, well, it's better, the power brick, Yeah, we know, buddy. We know.
We got the power brick.
We got the power brick.
Power brick. Yeah, we got
the power brick on the inside. But actually, I want to tap Avers. I want to kind of ask you here because you and Moxie do a hell of a job. The reason I gravitated to your channel immediately was you guys really do go in on the media. And as you know, that's kind of my main reason for actually coming on to YouTube is because the gaming media prior, I felt like was doing whatever and saying whatever they wanted, and everybody was acting like lemmings. Avers, what's your take on the way that you've seen the portrayal of most people's reviews? Now reviews. If I asked you yesterday, it would have been only the unboxings. How are you taking some of the reviews? How are you and Moxie kind of taking these as your show progresses?
I think it's for both of us, it's been actually pretty similar to a lot of what Crap has said. I think he kind of nailed it on his videos and on these last few podcasts. It's pretty obvious that Microsoft, you might hear me say this a couple times tonight, Microsoft is damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. The media really won't give them a break no matter what they do. They send them out these boxes with all these games and Planet Earth and all this extra stuff. And then they complain about, games not being ready. They complain about everything, no matter what happens. I don't think we're going to see really an end to that, at least not for a while, not till we start to see more of the first-party games and the announcements that they're going to have, I think, next year at E3. So, I mean, we've seen this every year. This is 4 years going. The X is an incredible system, and even now they can't get any respect for that.
Right. And I mean, this is a trend. And I mean, it really kills me because, I mean, here's Alan and not to boast, but crap, you were really pumped. You said that. You actually wrote me. You're like, good to see Alan got a review console. Yeah. Someone that actually deserves it. And you get all these people that get them. And don't get me wrong, you do want them to speak the truth. But as a consumer, tell me what's wrong with the box. Like, tell me what's wrong with it. You're Giant Bomb. You're in the gaming business, and you're going to spend 3/4 of your unboxing telling me that it's heavy. Like, is anybody
8.4 isn't even heavy?
But
like
crap,
like
is
Matty
anybody
says, hey, that's about a gallon of milk, and he goes, I guess they all eat dry cereal. You know what I mean? Like,
put some water on it. I mean, listen, I don't understand is anybody in the chat or anyone that listens to the show later, is anybody concerned that their entertainment center is not going to be able to handle this? I mean,
well, remember, Terrible Tom was worried about that, like extra half-inch or
was it
centimeter.
millimeter.
Yeah, he was complaining about the 1 millimeter, like it was longer. He's like, that could make all the difference in somebody's entertainment center. I'm like, bitch, if they got a PS4 Pro, then they got plenty of space left. Trust me.
Who's gonna pack their tech in an entertainment center packed like where it's up against the wall and there's no breathing room? You're just basically asking for your stuff to overheat. But I think the big thing about the reviews that we're seeing is there have been some incredibly positive reviews coming out, and all the ones that are nitpicking. Really, those different websites and outlets, they're showing their true colors right now.
Did you see that one Doc Cupcake had it? It was some, like, I don't even know. I don't think it was a huge site, but the guy, he was like, yeah, he goes, and somebody had found a tweet from him where he was like, I got to play The Last Guardian remake, and it looks so great. It makes me want to get a PS4 Pro and a 4K TV. That's how good it looks. And then when you fast forward to his Xbox One X review, he's like, I'm not impressed.
Yeah. Like, well, it was Shadow of the Colossus, not The Last Guardian.
Can I be honest?
Remake of a PS2 game.
I'm watching the backwards compatibility stuff with the Halo and some of those games. They look great. There's no all the jaggies and stuff are gone. Right? Yeah. It looks amazing. Yeah. And the funny thing is, because I know me at Mooch, his point of contention is nobody goes back and plays the old games. Microsoft doesn't look at them as old games anymore. They're just Xbox games now, since they have no generations. Right. I'm of that mindset, is that they just want these games to look and play the best because they're Microsoft games, not tied to any specific generation. And I love that because I'm like, damn, those games look good. Like, the textures look better. Everything looks better. There's no jaggies all over the place. It's amazing. Like, you're going to be able to play your games from whichever generation.
That's what's so great about it is, and we were talking about these new games like Assassin's Creed Origins, and there's Wolfenstein 2 and all these great games. And you stop and you say that, wow, but then at the same time, we all just said, I can't wait to put Gears 4 back on. I can't wait to get back into Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Showpiece for anyway, you know what I mean? Like, that was that game is that when I first saw like the wind blowing in that game and the trees and the, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, holy shit.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. This is just going off subject just for a quick second. Dolby Atmos. I currently own it. I bought it. And I mean, here's my thing. What games right now are using it? I don't have a Dolby Atmos list. It's not every game.
4 is the main one.
Are there any others? I mean, what about with the X releasing? Are there, because they do promote it and they gave it to you guys as a code in the box.
Yeah, that's true. But they never actually gave us a list of what titles support Dolby Atmos.
Is it safe to say
if the game supports it or not?
Where will it say it, Mike?
The game in the store, it does say Dolby Atmos support.
Well, what
all the other enhancements as well?
Right.
That's something that only Xbox
I'm buying
X
digital,
has, right? Like,
No,
Pro doesn't.
No, I don't think so. Crap. I think it's on the S as well.
Yeah,
I mean, the Pro doesn't do it. Yeah.
Oh no, the Pro does not.
Yeah, the Pro doesn't do that. So I mean, you got, and you like, there was some positive stuff out there because I'm always looking for the positive stuff. I'll call out the bullshit always because I did a video earlier about the bad reviews. Like, not to draw attention to. I didn't really link some of them that I saw or anything, but it's just to get the word out. Like, man, what is up with these people? You know, like, let people be excited for a goddamn minute. Nobody brought up games or any of this stuff. The PS4 Pro released with nothing new coming out, right? Like 40 games supported it, and the Xbox One X is going to have over 70 the launch week. I just don't understand what there is.
Listen, the Pro is a money grab. That's just what it is. I have the Pro. I played I played Uncharted 4 on my vanilla PS4, and I played the Lost Legacy on my Pro. It's the same thing. There's nothing to it. And the HDR that's on, in air quotes, on the PS4 Pro does nothing at all for the game compared to what Gears of War 4 does when my HDR is on. It looks like a whole new game.
Well, did you see this one? I saw this one thing. Assassin's Creed Origins on Xbox One X is a generation ahead. Like, they're saying this game on Xbox One X looks like a generational leap, and they've got like the screenshots to back it up, which is...
Did you see that they had to change the title of that article because they got too much flack from people? And now the article now says Assassin's Creed Origins on the Xbox One X is a generation ahead, and then in parentheses of the Xbox One S.
Oh, wow. Oh, hold on. I'm going to refresh this because I've had this on my shit.
It caved into media to fandom pressure.
That's what it seemed like to me, because I saw that article earlier today, and it just said Assassin's Creed Origins is a generation ahead. And
this
then
is the stronghold.
I looked at it later on, and
this is the stronghold that Sony has, and you might go, how do you relate it?
Is what
you know what sucks is I have this game downloaded, and I'm waiting for the X for it because I'm hearing it's like the de facto showpiece.
Yep.
For the X.
You talking about Origins?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
people
absolutely.
That's like this new patch, right? It's just now Xbox One X patched, and the HDR was just patched into it. So
yeah, that came out yesterday.
Yep.
I've been playing the game. It's amazing.
So crap. Have you downloaded the 4K and the enhancements and everything right now so that you can just?
I think so. Yeah, mine's. I've got a good I think 10 or 12 games now enhanced. So.
Okay. All right. Now that's something I still have to do. I still have to do that this weekend.
Well, you can click to automatically download the assets.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Let your Xbox download them overnight.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the best thing I can say, because with mine, you know, I share internet with Hellhammer, and so we're both fighting for that bandwidth and downloading assets and stuff like that. Like the Quantum Break one's downloading right now.
Let the audience know. I asked you to hold it. Hopefully you still have the window that you can click on and open it. What did Brian Altano say today? Just okay, let me set it up real quick, just so everyone knows. You know, guys, a lot of people tune into this channel. They tune into Craps. They tune into Zaire's, and they say that we're just Xbox fanboys. It's not that we're fanboys. We definitely have a preference, and that's okay, guys. It's okay to have a preference.
Yes, it is.
It's okay to have a preference. Okay, in any category, just gaming.
Mooch, you can't have an opinion. You're not.
No, you can't. No, you have to fall in line behind all the neutrals. But you know, my thing is this. My whole point is that this is an IGN news site, and this was the fix, which I will agree with Crap. If we're gonna lose, we lost Naomi Kyle to Brian Altano. Life is really taking a real dip south.
Man,
but Brian
that was
Altano
the only reason to really watch IGN.
It was.
Like, honestly.
Well, Alana's there, but I don't know if she'd be able to hold.
She's not going to be able to do. She ain't going to do what Naomi can do.
Well, you know, hey, we have polls out there that say Alana can do it. We'll see what happens.
No. Everybody was team Naomi. Trust me.
Naomi.
Let Brian. So Brian Altano, right? He's that guy that tries to be funny, and I always I had a dislike of him back in 2013. Back when, I know I hold a grudge, like a goddamn something that holds a grudge. I don't know what.
There's nothing worse than a comedian who only thinks he's funny. He thinks he's funny.
Exactly. He's talking and he's the only one laughing. So back in 2013, his ass bucket was like, yeah, 1080p. That turns out that's a thing. So yeah, I love the PS4. It's so much better and blah, blah, blah. And from that moment on, I could never like the guy. So he's doing the daily fix, and he ends it with, the best way to avoid filling up your hard drive space is to buy Xbox exclusives because there aren't any. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. This is what the guy ends with, right? And I just found that to be absolutely asinine, because the PS4 fucking launched with Knack and Killzone, and nobody said anything about exclusives. The PS4 Pro launched with no exclusives, and nobody said shit.
It's also funny because people are complaining about the size of Quantum Break, which is an Xbox console exclusive.
Yes, that plus in the thumbnail, it's the guy getting crushed by the Xbox One X. He's like, "Urgh!" Like he can't lift it or something. Like, come on, man.
Too heavy. It's too heavy.
It's too heavy, and you gotta. Because here's the thing, this is the thing. I was curious. I was like, what's the media going to do? What are people going to do to really trash the Xbox now? I was curious. I didn't really know. I knew that it would be all about the games, and I called that a year ago. I said they'll switch it. It'll be about exclusives now, and it is. But the funny thing is with this, I was like, what is going to be the real narrative to hate on this box? And now it's like, oh my gosh, the size of these games is insane. And then what the problem is with this Quantum Break download, they're including the videos, the movies, right?
That's
like you don't have to download those. The game itself is 102 gigs, the same size as the PC version, right?
That's right.
That's all. Like that's a lot, but that's not like holy shit, oh my god! And you don't even have to download it. Not how many people bought Quantum Break? Apparently not enough. So why are they complaining?
Listen, you can't sit there as a consumer and go, give me textures, give me 4K, give me HDR, give me everything. I want draw distance, I want power, I want this, I want that. Do me a favor. Can you just keep my download size exactly the same as it was before? No.
Hey, you know what, Mike? They only changed that on that site. The actual title to the article still only says is a generation ahead.
Oh, so they only changed it on N4G then?
Yeah, they have to change it on N4G because you got a bunch of pissant crybabies that are going to be like, that's misleading. You can't do that. I need a safe space because PS4 Pro owners feel bad when you say that. So make sure you guys.
Now, let me just jump in here for a second, Mooch.
Go ahead, Boom.
Hey, over 600 watching. Woo!
This is exactly why we all do what we do, because you cannot depend on any of these sites to be truthful about anything. No. I mean, come on. I don't know. What world are we living in that you are a person who plays who's a gamer, right? A gamer is a game, game's a games, right? That's what you always say?
Absolutely. Yeah, light the candle when you say that.
Be excited.
Yes.
Regardless of whether you have a Switch, whether you have a PS4, whether you have them all like all of us, it's a new console that's going to open doors that we have never seen before.
Here's the thing, and this goes to what Boom was saying, and this is why I say this week in and week out, and I think more and more people, as you can see, more people in the chat here than ever before to show their excitement for this new system, and that's why I actually titled it Xbox One X, The New Era Begins. This is only a mid-gen console, but it's more than that, folks. And the reason that is that you have to question the gaming media, right? You have to sit there and go, I'll go to you if you have some footage I can see on your channel or this and that, but I don't trust you anymore because, listen, the first time I ever went to TCBY Yogurt, okay, the first time I ever walked in there, the manager was like,
food reference at
absolutely. Yes, mark it down. And I walk up and I said to the guy, well, which one's the best one here? And he goes, man, it's hard to say which one's the best. They're all great. And I'm like, that's more like it. You can't just every single jackass that works for the media over in San Francisco, every one of them is a Sony fan first. Don't give me this we love games and games love us. That's full of shit.
We love games.
Games love us. No, they don't. No, they don't, Brian Altano.
Hey, I'll give you another point of contention, right?
Sure.
This Gaming Bold article. Xbox One X's biggest advantage is its biggest problem, and it's talking about the file sizes.
Well, they have to pick on something. Isn't this something, guys? I mean, really?
This is outrageous.
Pass the word on, everybody in the chat and listening to this.
It's bias.
It's not a problem at all.
It's not, because you know what? I would say that most Xbox gamers at this point have had an external hard drive for a while now.
Well, crap. Hold on. Before you get into the external, I have to bring up a friend of ours, friend of the show, JKB, did a great review of the console, and he said something interesting. Crap. Okay, 1 terabyte. He is what the Xbox One X comes with, and I believe he attempted to fill it up, and he didn't have the X enhancements yet. So he said he was about to put about roughly 20 games on. So let's deduct with the enhancements. Let's say 12 games can fit on your Xbox One X as it comes in the box. Hear me out. Majority of people that are listening to these IGNs and Kotakus saying that the download sizes are a problem, you're buying 1, 2, 3 games a year, right? That's the number. I'm not making that up. Those are statistics.
Call of Duty, whatever.
Madden, Call of Duty, and maybe like one Assassin's Creed game or something of that nature. That being said, or just Destiny. Point being is you're buying 3 games
in there.
I have to. Point being is you have 3 games. If for the casual person, when they get done playing a game, if they want, the next year they can fit another 3 games on there and still keep their old ones on there. Or you can get rid of one and put one on there. Just because you uninstall a game doesn't mean you don't own it anymore. Your save files, your everything are still on there. You just have to re-download it at another time. It only takes a little bit of time to do that. Point being is that this is a non-issue. So even if you're going to be Mooch, listen, it's a non-issue to you because you're telling me I have to go spend $150 on an external. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. If you're a hardcore gamer,
aren't even that expensive. You can get, you know what I mean?
I just sent a link to one of the fans of the show. He was looking for
he wrote
4 terabyte. Yes, and I found on Amazon a 4 terabyte for $101.
Yep.
You know what?
I originally bought my 5 terabyte, the one that I have. It was like 110.
Yes,
and this was like over a year ago.
I have 2 Seagates, and I think they were 115 a piece.
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
I have a 7200 RPM 2 terabyte that ran me like $275 about 2 years ago.
Wow.
Jesus. Yeah. Well, see, I have a 2. Originally I had a 2 and a 5 on my Xbox One S, and then I got the 8, and I still have the 5, and then I put the 2 on the PS4 Pro. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's but yeah, it's like storage is never really a problem because you can always and also they're doing that thing where they're going to allow some stuff to be in the cloud on games. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is though, if you're one of these people that's complaining that's a hardcore gamer about getting an external, then
maybe you're not a hardcore gamer.
I don't think you're a hardcore gamer. I mean, you gotta call the person out. And for casuals,
it's not like they've lied about it. They've said this console is for the people in the know.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're trying to fool anybody.
Yeah. Surprise! Fill that heart space up. Yeah. I mean, this is ridiculous. We forced you. We forced you.
I gotta be honest with you guys. I don't think anyone who's bringing home an X on Tuesday is going to be blindsided by 102 gig file size.
Yeah, they're not, because that's why they're letting us start to download these things early. And then what was even funny, even though it was like this was kind of ridiculous, but I sent it to Mooch anyway, was that VG 24/7.
Yeah,
they tweeted out like they were like, hold on, I gotta find this shit because it was funny, and I sent it to Mooch, and I was like, that's funny shit. It was. Think how many fancy hats you could buy for the price of an Xbox One X. Is it worth it?
They actually said this. I mean, guys,
why should you not?
We can't make this stuff up. One of my other favorites, shout out, and it was Tim Dog that actually tweeted out, but Bam just refreshed my memory on it. 24/7 Gamer also went ahead and tweeted out, Sony hits back with a white PS4 console.
Woo, man!
Wow!
And I responded,
woo!
That's just them polishing and painting a turd white because it's still
the white design adds like 3 more teraflops. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny. Shout out to PS Down in the chat. He's like 50 minutes in, and all I get are Mooch rants. What about the guests? Alan and Avers, by all means, chime in. I think that
I've been talking a lot. Hey, we got another donation.
We did from Yourself Is Me, which is great because Yourself Is Me, actually, shout out to him in the chat. He was the first person when we launched the show tonight. He goes, hey, look, Mooch enabled super chat. And I was like, hey, God bless you. Yourself Is Me. That's great.
You're up to 30. Mooching.
30.
That's half a game right there,
it's half a game if YouTube didn't take all of it. Thank you, YouTube.
I don't know what they think. It's like 10 or 15% or something.
Yeah, I mean, what do you, Alan? What do you say? I mean, I'm going to go ahead and put you in this situation. I'm going to put a little limelight on you here. You're in that media seat, okay? You've had media press badges. You've gone to E3. You've been to Gamescom. You've done this. You've done that. These are things that people on the panel haven't done. What is it when you talk in the DMs on Twitter, or you guys tweet each other or talk to each other? What's the general consensus amongst the people who got review units? Is it satisfaction, or is it a little bit of like dismay?
Everyone I know is really happy and excited, but this is like everyone who I know, not like all the random like people I've seen on Twitter and stuff with them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Overall, everyone's just really happy. Everyone thinks there's a big difference. Even the folks who have the 1080p displays, we're all quite amazed by the difference of the system. We're all really surprised. We think the package is bloody brilliant. Like, seriously, this that package with all those games, that helps folks like us out so much, because we don't have the money to go out and buy all of these games to test them on like the bigger outlets do. We don't have that money. So having the codes for Call of Duty, for Destiny, so we can test the enhancements once they roll out is a great advantage to us.
Yeah. Right. And very strategic on their part.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And like the other thing as well, I will say actually the inclusion of the Blu-ray film Planet Earth is so smart, because it immediately reminds you, when you open that package, it immediately reminds you, oh yeah, this thing has a 4K Blu-ray player the PS4 Pro doesn't.
I'm so pissed off. I bought this beautiful OLED TV. By the way, OLED is life. I went and bought that OLED TV. I've got a 4K player in my Xbox One S, and I have yet to buy that. Have you watched Planet Earth yet, Alan?
I haven't got around to it yet.
Alan, I'll be sending you my address right after the show. Listen, but pay no attention to that. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic. I know that. Shout out to Sajibot who was in the chat. That is a great way to really show off your OLED and see the power that the X is with that 4K player. That's another thing, right, guys? We don't talk about this anymore. We like to just walk by it because we're so interested in games. But realistically, the PS4 Pro doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray player. That's insulting. I mean, it's absolutely
it really
insulting,
is.
right?
Like the Xbox One X and the S even both have 4K Blu-ray players. They both have the best 4K media services in the business. Like, honestly, if they can somehow figure out something to work with YouTube, to get YouTube running in 4K, they're going to have everything. They're going to have everything covered.
Yeah. You know, honestly, I was really surprised. I was expecting Sony to come out with an updated PS4 Pro this year that had a 4K Blu-ray player in it.
No chance.
There would be riots in the street.
They're already going to have to explain when EA Access goes to PS4 about how they fucked up by not allowing that for years and years, right? One of the best values in gaming right now.
Well, they have the PSVR update, though.
They made a mistake. They'll say something like, "We're proud to team up with EA to bring EA access to PlayStation."
Yeah, but I'm going to be there to shove it up everybody's ass, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of other people that are going to do that too. I mean, same thing with this crossplay stuff, right? You know, like you finally see Yoshida go, "Congratulations" on the Xbox One X thing or whatever, and it's like, be still my heart because they actually congratulate him for something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
I'm sorry, guys. I'm not going to sit here and go ahead and say what Yoshida did. That was the first time we've seen them actually do something in quite some time. But let me just say this much. First of all, whenever Sony does something, you've got Phil, Mike, Aaron.
Jesus, you're getting way more money in here. Jeez.
Oh, that's just
Corpse 20.
No, those are huge Mooch maniacs, by the way. All right, power to the Mooch maniacs. No, but what I want to say was this crap. We have Yoshida comes out and just goes, "Congratulations." ...
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Listen, that's horse shit. Okay. You've got Mike. Mikey Barra writes, "Congratulations, Sony. Can't wait till I work my long, hard goddamn day till I go home and play your game." Like, goes through this whole story.
Or they're like, "Man, this Switch is great.
Yeah.
I'm going to stream some Mario afterwards on Mixer."
You've never seen Mixer look so great when we're playing 1080p Mario. Yeah, and I mean, you see all of this stuff going on, right? Then you see Yoshida. "Congratulations." Oh, yeah. He didn't even want to pronunciate all syllables.
If Supersonic Station is watching, I demand a Yoshida congratulations.
Absolutely. Shout out to Danny Boy.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, are we the only ones that see this? It's so lopsided. The media loves Sony. Sony barely pays credit. I think I bet Yoshida was playing poker last night. And he was like, "Listen, I didn't bring any cash with me." They're like, "All right,
he was over at Greg Miller's house. Greg Miller's house.
Yeah, and the bet on the table was they were out of cash. So he's like, "Well, listen, if you lose this hand, Yoshida, you have to send Phil a compliment." Okay. I was like, "All right, we'll do that then."
I sent him a compliment if I lose a hand. Very good.
Oh, easy, Mike.
Better. Hey, better than Jim Ryan though. Jim Ryan's like, on specs it's good, but we got the games, and you can only play the
Get out of here. I gotta say something though with Sony and the media and the Xbox hype. Why is it that Boogie complimented Sony in the same tweet he promoted the Xbox One?
The Boogie maniacs jumped on me when I said that. Right? They're like, "It's sarcasm." Clearly, that's what they told me. So, I mean, clearly,
I don't know. I've heard. Look at the true tryhard fan. He goes, "Didn't he say congratulations with an exclamation mark?" Yeah, tryhard. He may have said that. My point being is that when Microsoft pays a compliment to Sony, it's using all 140
compliment.
Yeah, it's all 140 characters used. Like,
and not only that, it's more than just one person. Like, you probably won't see anybody else in Sony congratulate Microsoft. Where Microsoft, you had Phil, Horizon Zero Dawn, awesome, can't wait
to play. It must have been hard work by the developers. Love you guys.
Well, you guys are amazing. Congratulating them looking for a job.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. Where's the new Andrew House?
You know why Andrew House is out, right? Because games are moving more towards that whole loot box, games as a service type of thing, and he wasn't good at that. So now the new guy is already pumping services. That's why they're going to get EA access. Like, don't be surprised when
Yeah.
Now, I mean, that's obviously something that's it wouldn't be Switch and it wouldn't be PC because it's already on PC. So there's only one EA game on Switch, right? So it's going to be PS4.
It has PS4, and but yeah, this new guy who's leading Sony, I don't think he's going to do a huge amount of good for them because at least Andrew House was actually. He knew what he was doing, essentially.
He played to the PlayStation fan base. You know, he gave them what they love about PlayStation, whereas now if they're moving into games as a service, hey, that's what Microsoft has been doing for, the past, almost like 10 years, pretty much. They've been building up to that.
Donnie D!
Right.
Well, let's talk about it, guys. Let's bring up Donnie Mattrick. And guys, tell me if I'm right or wrong here. Crap and I, we heard this. It's been out in the news. Apparently, it was stated. Don Mattrick was the one who greenlit the Xbox One X.
Yeah,
it's true, right?
It's true. It's true. Probably not the console the way it is in its exact state at the moment.
Correct.
The idea of a mid-generation Xbox One that would be way more powerful than the base hardware, that he did greenlight.
And I mean, listen, I want to say this, listen, everybody knows Phil's great. I understand that. But a lot of people are hard on Donnie, and Don had different thoughts. He did think a little bit more like a businessman, and God forbid he's in business. I don't understand why everybody doesn't understand that. If you were plucked out of your job tomorrow and you're like, listen, you are now going to be the executive and the president of Xbox. And by the way, you have deadlines and dollar signs you have to meet for our investors. Like, you're going to do what you have to do to make money. And this guy did a lot of things called like Xbox exclusives, only Xbox content on the Xbox, like from different games like Call of Duty, etc. He started a lot of this stuff, and everyone's like, Sony's a genius. Sony's not a genius. They're great copycats. They're not even mooches. I mean, for God's sakes, Moochie takes a little talent. But the thing about it is that, like, I think Donnie Mattrick gets really the raw end of the deal here in a lot of shows. I personally, I think we're in a better position with Phil Spencer. We are in a much better position with Phil Spencer. He's got an amazing repertoire in the business. He gets along with everybody. He can go over to Japan and cut deals where Mattrick really couldn't. But I think the whole I don't like Don Mattrick because he said, we have a console for you. It's called the 360, which actually I found very, very, very humorous back when I first saw that.
Courage.
Hashtag courage. Right? He said it. Yeah, exactly. That was Microsoft's hashtag courage.
Too bad. Guys, want to know something really funny about that comment? Back when I was in school and all that whole, Xbox One requires internet stuff was going around, I would always say to my friends, look, if you don't like it, they have a product. It's called the Xbox 360. And this was before Don Mattrick actually said it.
Yes. Listen, we're moving forward, folks. We're moving forward. Listen, people, this is not about Apple versus Microsoft versus Amazon versus this. It's not about that. But when Apple said hashtag courage, that was just like, you got to stand up and do a slow clap. You've got to do it because they had the balls to be like, dude, I'm taking the jack out and making the phone thinner. F yourself. You don't like it? Go to the other phone then, because we feel this is a better move. And Donnie did the same thing. Donnie was like, listen, things are going to voice command. You think Don didn't know that Alexa was coming out and Siri was coming out and they were going to get big? You didn't think he knew that? That's why he put the Kinect in the box. He's thinking you want to tell your TV what to do, and you're going to do it through our system. It's not that crazy to understand the concept. And, you have all these guys, again, everybody who's 19 and a half years old in San Francisco being like, who wants that in the box? Maybe I do, asshole. Now go back and get me an ice cream. Listen.
I use my Kinect every day.
Hey, can I just say right now, I'm using my Kinect on my Xbox One X, and it works great. So
of course it does.
If you have any issues, if you're worried about compatibility with your accessories, don't be. Plug it in.
Listen,
it works.
And Alan, I recommend anyone that wants to follow myself personally. I'm done with Kinect because of one reason and one reason only. Is I feel like Microsoft in its current direction, they're just not. I mean, they're killing it. So first of all, it's not even a SKU anymore. So if it's not a SKU. And then it means nothing to you. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is, and I'm out. So I'm gonna, the kids are gonna, use that and they'll play Just Dance with it or whatever they like to do. That's fine. But like myself personally, once I still have my Kinect hooked up to my entertainment center, but once the X comes Tuesday, it's gone. It's off the main center. My point being is that if
getting relegated to the toy box,
it is. It really is. It's like Toy Story 3, right? Yeah. I'm going to put Andy on the bottom of it. Listen, thank you for all 8 of you that got it and crap. But I think it's time to retire the Kinect. But am I wrong here?
I still use it.
What do you guys think about Donnie D? Avers, let me start with you, and I want to hear clowns next. Avers, what do you think of Donnie Mattrick? Do you think he was that bad?
No, actually, I'm one of the minority that probably actually kind of liked him a little bit.
I'm in your group.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way he would be able to respond, he could come back immediately in an interview whenever someone was being snarky or trying to be a little trashy towards the Xbox brand. Like you said, he said, we have the console for you. And someone said that Xbox didn't have any games. And he said, well, we have Gears, Halo, and Forza and all these others. And I don't see that on any other platform. I really like seeing someone like that. I think Phil is actually starting to adopt a little bit of that. If you remember recently, he said something to the effect of the X isn't for everybody. And some people kind of criticize that a little bit. But I think what he was trying to do is he was trying to do almost a Donnie Mattrick type of thing and say, basically, yeah, this is for the hardcore. We do have the yes for everybody else, and it isn't for everyone. And I kind of like that he might be getting a little bit more edgy. But yeah, I'm with you on that, Mooch. I really like the way he handled himself in interviews, at the very least. We all know that. Go ahead.
What was wrong with what he did, Avers? Nothing, right? I mean, like, if you're going to be snarky to him, he's going to be snarky back to you. He's like, I'm sorry. Did you not notice I have like 8 zeros in my paycheck? Get out of here.
Here's the problem with it.
Donnie D, he had the cojones, and in 2013, it wasn't. There was the whole social justice warriors and everything like that. It wasn't cool to have cojones. So that was kind of Donnie D's downfall.
Yes, agreed. I totally agree. Crap, what do you got to say?
I just wanted to say that here's the thing with Donnie D, right? Like, he did bring Xbox 360 back to profitability, but you have to remember the whole reason the Xbox is in its current state, or the state of hate, because it was kind of looked at as like the de facto console, the 360. How you go from being the de facto console, being the one that the developers love, to hey, let's put ESRAM on this thing and make it a pain in the ass to develop for, and do exactly what the PS3 fucked up with, and lose our market share in our home country, no less. That's all his fault. The Kinect stuff. He was the one in 2010 that was like, let's cancel the Halo MMO. Let's cancel this. Let's cancel that. Let's close this studio. Let's close that. I know that happens, but let's all focus on Kinect. And that really kind of shut the hardcore out. Yes, I do remember that interview where he's like, we've got Gears and we've got Halo and Forza, and we've got map packs first on Call of Duty. Cool. But at the end of the day, he was taking games directly away from the hardcore gamers who took him to the dance. So I always had a problem with that.
What games did he take away from the hardcore gamers?
We were only getting like 3 games a year at that point. You know what I mean? It was a drastic reduction. We were getting something like 10 exclusives a year or something like that early on. And then Donnie D, starting in like 2010 when Kinect came out, it was down to 2 or 3 a year.
But whenever anyone does a show on YouTube, they're like, let's talk about the fond years, the years we loved in 360. Like, remember when we had this as an exclusive, and this is an exclusive, and BioShock was an exclusive, and Mass Effect was an exclusive? Remember all that? So you can't have your cake and eat it too here, folks.
Well, yeah, Mass Effect was 2007.
Yeah, 2007 is still the best year in gaming.
But 2007 was Halo 3, Call of Duty 4, Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed.
BioShock came out that same year too.
Yeah,
BioShock
2007 was like the year for the 360.
Yeah,
sure.
and that's why they sold. You know why? They sold like 16, 17 million units that year.
Yeah.
So I mean that could be a good.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong, and I will say this much, just to give Crap's right. I mean, Crap makes some valid points.
That wasn't the only reason why I didn't like the guy as well. Like, apparently he was never around at Microsoft at Redmond. He would show up for like these events twice a year, and then that's it. He was never around. He wasn't in touch with any gamers.
Oh, he's like Andrew House. Okay, yeah. I mean, basically, yeah. Listen, but Crap. The thing is, though, again, coming from corporate America, that's not necessarily odd. Like, that's what they do.
Yeah, they usually have people delegate for them.
Yeah, but you should at least I like the idea now where it's actual gamers running the place.
I do when I don't. I mean, I do and I don't. I do because I like that they have their finger on the pulse of the game, and I know when a game comes out, it's going to be stellar. I really do like that. I really, really do. The thing I don't like about it is it's it's the whole unity candle, and the games are gamers, games are games. That's enough of that nonsense. You have to get back to a point where it's business. It is business, and that's fine. Just because you like to play games doesn't mean you still don't want to like beat your competition. I mean, listen, I don't care. Go out there and go ahead. Do me a favor. Anybody who's got a big truck, dress your truck up like an ice cream man truck, right? And then go in the neighborhood where the ice cream man's been coming forever and just ride by him and it just says, just snow cones. He's gonna be like, get the fuck off my turf. Okay? What I'm trying to say to you is, even as low as you go down in the business like spectrum, it's a dog-eat-dog world. And for some reason, that's not the mentality over there. But it is and here's the thing. If you said, Mooch, stop it. Really. Sony is getting along with Microsoft. Microsoft's getting along with Sony. It's not, folks. It's a one-sided street. It's like Microsoft's just getting slapped and manhandled. Sony's like, we're not doing cross-play. We're going to take all the content that Microsoft won't take. Destiny exclusive map packs, this, that, blah, they're ours. So Sony's not cooperating in the Kumbaya candle. And that's the problem. And that's where I kind of miss. I almost wish we had Phil doing games and almost like Mikey Barra doing the president.
Down, though, that's the problem, right?
Well, it is the top down, but I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at Donnie D was there at a time when, Balmer was there, and Balmer's big thing on Microsoft was, if you want to use a Microsoft product, you got to fucking buy a Microsoft product, right?
Right.
Like, now it's like,
that's true.
It's like, oh, let's put Microsoft products on everything. You know what I mean? Like that.
Which, don't get me wrong. And from I don't sit in the boardroom, so I don't know. And I understand where they're coming from. But here's the thing. And crap, this is your point that you've made over weeks and weeks and months and months. Play Anywhere is not really doing. I don't think it's doing what they wanted it to do. Okay, I don't think it's really working out that well. I don't think so. Their cellular phones, as far as Microsoft itself, not working out.
That's done.
Right, so the gaming on the cellular thing, that's also out. So now the computer thing is, you have Gears of War 4. Nobody's playing Gears of War 4 on the PC. That's why they merged the two together.
Crossplay, yeah, they had to because the servers on the PC.
Same thing with Halo Wars 2.
Yep, they had to.
So if all of this kumbaya, and you said it's coming from the top down and we want to have games everywhere, if that's not working, when do you go back to the drawing board and go and blow off Donnie Mattrick's old fucking playbook of like, let's fuck these guys over and win?
I think, well, you know what, Mooch? It would be real nice now that the power is not the issue for Microsoft to step on the throat of their competition. I'm sorry. You know what? I agree 100%. This nice guy act, it's over. Okay, you don't have to be nice. You got the biggest, most powerful system. Now you can step on the throat and go back to getting.
Well, they can boom. They can boom, but don't forget they're still lacking by like 20 million consoles.
Right. I completely understand that, but you know what? If you add exclusive content and exclusive games to a more powerful console, they will come.
Yes. Well, but I mean, you don't want to piss off the media by saying like getting that foot on the throat, like those types of tweets and getting that type of message out there. Like the pro Sony media is just gonna like take that and throw it up there and say like, look, all the people at Microsoft are haters.
Like I think we need to go ahead and piss off the media at this point because they obviously don't care no matter what we do. They don't care what Microsoft does. They should get pissed off.
That's a valid point.
And we should cut them off like Trump would cut off fake news, and we should cut them off like Obama cut off Fox. That's what Microsoft should do.
Well, you know what? Hans makes a point because here you go, right? And Alan, you have the Xbox One X in your home right now. This is a console that is the We Heard You console. This is the everything we asked for. This is what the media was like, I want the power brick inside. I want this thing sleeker. I want this thing more powerful. I want this thing to play games. When I say to play games, I want the 4K enhancements to come to me. They did all that, and what do? It's heavy. I mean, come on, listen. I don't even know. What are we supposed to? If I'm Microsoft, if everybody in this panel worked for Microsoft tomorrow on Monday morning, wouldn't you walk in and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with these people?"
Yes, absolutely. You see, really what I want to know is, okay, we talked about this very early in the show. Good guys like Alan got it. So that's awesome. And we all feel real happy for him.
Absolutely.
Because it's nice for the good guy to win.
Yes.
What I really want to know, and I'm waiting to see, is when are these so-called haters of the Xbox brand going to turn around and say, you know what? I was wrong. Microsoft sent me the system. It's amazing. It plays games better. It's faster. It looks gorgeous. We have yet to see that.
Right.
Hey, as long as Sony's sending them checks, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's true. That is very true.
Ad revenue, PlayStation.
It's not even so much Sony sending them checks. What the problem is there's more PlayStation fans online than there are Xbox fans. Just worldwide, that's a fact. So these people get their money through AdSense and things like that, just like NeoGAF, right? RIP. But like, you know what I mean? So you have ads and stuff like that, and then you draw in the PlayStation dues. And this is the thing, right? So it's genius how these sites do it, right? They'll go, okay, well, our majority of our fan base is PlayStation fans, but we also get Xbox fans. So what we'll do is we'll do a negative hit piece on the Xbox. That's going to draw in the PlayStation fans because they're going to go, and it's going to draw in the Xbox fans because they're going to go in there defending it, and they're going to go back and forth with each other, and it's going to be a lot more clicks. That's basically how it works. Genius, really. You know what I mean? So it's something like, and a lot of these media sites are closing up shop. So this is something that they're also worried about too. So they want to keep pandering to some of those people, and basically they've run out of stuff to pander about.
Listen, I could sit here and complain what Sony did, but it's actually business genius. And everybody said it, right? JKB said it, Boogie said it. The minute that they all released it, the minute that everybody, and I don't know how Sony does it, but apparently you can pick up the phone and do this. The minute everybody was releasing their unboxing for Xbox One X or their reviews, Sony smothered those videos with Sony advertisements. Like,
Yeah,
that's...
I don't even know how that works.
I don't know how that works, but apparently it's a thing, because there's no way anybody in the world can convince me that it's coincidence.
Yeah, I think
I know people that actually, like I said, I talked to JKB. Jay Hooft is a good friend of mine. We talk a lot. He said to me, he's like, dude, the minute I launched this thing, Sony advertisements were all over my shit.
Do you know what, right? I think what Sony's doing is when they're paying for their advertising, what they've done is they've gone to YouTube and they've paid for a ridiculous amount of advertisements on gaming videos. So they have ridiculously increased the chances of their ads showing up on Xbox
Maybe
One
that's
X
it.
videos.
And then
I
you
think
go.
that's what they've done.
I'm not saying that Sony has a big red phone they pick up and it goes right to the head of YouTube. They're like, now. You know, it's so. I mean, I think you're right. I think
basically it also has to do with they'll match ads to maybe what you have in your description or your tags as well. So if you put PS4 in your tags, or they could say, hey, if anybody puts Xbox in their tags, let's run a PlayStation ad.
Yes, that sounds right. Yes. I don't know if that's legit, but it sure as hell makes sense.
It's possible. Guys. It's possible.
Now, listen.
And that's how, I mean, look, you got to spend money to make money. The problem is Microsoft is coming off releasing two, somebody says ad blocker or anyone. YouTube as ad blocker doesn't do anything for the rolls. The scroll, you know what I mean? Like it might block a banner, but you're not blocking a pre-roll.
Well, listen, and I want to bring something else up that's going on this fall. The only word that's more confusing than covfefe is the word exclusive. Okay, because nobody knows what exclusive means anymore. Anyways, this December, we're supposed to be getting PubG exclusively.
December 12th,
right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this coming to the Xbox?
I think it's exclusively the console preview version is exclusive.
Right.
Yes.
You know,
Microsoft, you geniuses. Yes.
Microsoft said in their emailed press releases, it's a console launch exclusive. That was the word.
Well, that was, but however, Alan, you're quoting the E3, right?
No, that's the email they sent out from the Paris Games Week live stream they did.
Okay, that was Paris. Okay, if they did it in Paris, because listen, here's the thing, and Microsoft really does watch their P's and Q's with legal on this part of it. It is odd that the graphic art on the box says console exclusive. It doesn't say temporary or preview or anything. It says console exclusive.
That is true.
Well, but, I mean, Rise of the Tomb Raider did the same thing. It said console exclusive. It didn't say timed console exclusive.
It said holiday. It said console exclusive holiday.
Just like Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Well, Rise of the Tomb Raider was a year. If PUBG is a full year, listen, everybody likes to associate something with a certain brand. If PUBG is for one solid year, which is what I truly believe, folks. I truly believe.
Well, with all the money they're putting out for it, it should be.
At least.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, look, they're publishing it. They're advertising it. They're putting it up on a pedestal.
It's
you know what I mean?
By Azure.
Well, aren't they also now publishing the PC version?
I heard they're publishing the PC version as well. So, I mean, like, and Azure on not only the PC version and the Xbox version, and they're talking about crossplay there. You know what I mean? I don't even know where a PlayStation version would come into it. Those lonely bastards are going to be playing it by themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if they're using the Azure servers, I would like to see what happens if it does come to PS4. Because what servers is it going to use then?
Exactly.
If it uses the
Mike.
Azure servers, then there's no reason that all these multiplats can't also use the Azure server.
It won't. Did you see what happened with Titanfall 2? Right? There was all that stuff. The game wasn't as good, and the servers weren't as good. I never lagged on Titanfall 1. It was like such a brilliant game.
Yeah.
Then then they switched it. Oh no, it's not on. And then they tried to damage control. Well, it's a mixture of servers, but realistically, it wasn't.
I still prefer the first game to the sequel as far as the multiplayer goes.
So basically, even though Phil toes the corporate line, he's like, sure, we'd love for Sony to use Azure servers. They'll never do that.
They won't.
They won't because
it's going to open up the questions once again for crossplay.
Yeah, that not only that, but it also makes them look weak, like they have to go to Microsoft for something.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that being said, let's go full circle where Mike began the question. If they're using Azure for everything now, how can it go to Sony then?
Like I said, there's still games where there's crossplay between like Xbox and a PC, and then Sony, they'll just use different servers, maybe Amazon or something. I don't know, but you can bet that Sony
the quality will drop, right?
Yeah, the quality will drop. I'm sure.
And also the PubG developers, they seem to be pretty on board with the whole crossplay idea between Xbox and PC.
The developers seem very on board with Xbox in general, Mike.
Yeah, so I mean that could be like a huge point for them to say to Sony, like, hey, if you want this game on your system, you have to do crossplay and you have to use the servers that we're already using on PC and Xbox. They have a lot of leverage there with that.
That's true, but I don't think Sony will give in. They're the kind of company to say, we'd rather not have PUBG just to kind of keep off.
And if that's what happens, which I hope it does, I think that would be a great thing, because then next year, December 12th, 2018, when people are complaining like, hey, why hasn't PUBG come out to PS4 yet? I thought it was a launch exclusive for Xbox One. The PUBG developers, Blue Silver and Microsoft, they can all go like, hey, we want Sony to get this game, but they won't agree to, basically the requirements in order for the game to run.
Hashtag for the players.
Right.
I'm not really against. I know I've said this before. Some of the smaller games, I don't care. Like Rocket League, who gives a shit if that's crossplay with Sony? But I would never want Titanfall, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Battlefront to be crossplay with PS4. I just wouldn't want that.
Do you guys think there's any kind of thing in the background going on right now with Titanfall and Xbox?
You know what?
No, I do.
Hold on just a second, because you don't know that for sure. And again, I know it's what we're talking about now is completely speculative, right? I get that, but I am sure that the developers of Titanfall thought that when they were bringing it to Sony, they were going to cash in. And
PS4 or bus shirt, man.
That's right.
No, I know that. I know, but again, we go based on install base. At the time, it was still 2-to-1 as well. And just like the Cliffy B thing, he thought more players equals more sales for my game. They call it the shooter box for a reason. I still say
I like to look at clues and then speculate. Like you said, it's all speculative. But I mean, you do have Vince Zampella that came out last week, and he said something to the effect of, "Well, I've heard that it's not worth my time unless I'm waiting for the X for Assassin's Creed Origins."
Right,
well, I mean,
right.
You don't see devs just come out and say that very often, especially in favor of Microsoft. I mean, nobody says that.
Very, very rare you do. Yeah,
nobody.
Yes.
So he came out and said that. And then you've got the whole, Titanfall came in at the end and gave them that marketing deal at the very last second, which don't get me wrong, maybe didn't help the game, definitely didn't help the game. But at the same time, it definitely paid some of the bills. You know what I mean? Whatever, I don't know, even if it was just to break even, it helped out.
And what I think hurt Titanfall 2 was the beta, because a lot of Xbox gamers, at least, they played the first Titanfall game, and then they played the beta for Titanfall 2. And I know for me personally, when I played that beta for Titanfall 2, I was like, this isn't Titanfall. This isn't anything like what Titanfall is supposed to be.
I remember getting spawn camped early on, and I was like, that shit never happened in Titanfall 1.
There were so many drastic changes.
It didn't help Titanfall's case by putting it between Call of Duty and Battlefield.
That also did.
That too.
But the thing with Titanfall 1 was that it was something new, fresh, original. It was
fast.
Big Xbox One IP, the big one. And then Titanfall 2 comes out, and it's kind of like just another first-person shooter.
Yep.
But
I
also
said this, and
reduced the
people
amount of
said I was
enemy
crazy,
AI
right?
and stuff.
I said this, and people said I was crazy. I says Titanfall 2, or as an exclusive, would have been huge. Titanfall 2 as a multiplat was just kind of average. You know what I mean? And people were like, "Well, how can you say that? It's a great game." It is, but it's just the average multiplat. As an exclusive, it's much better than it is as a. You know what I mean? Like that's just the way I feel, and I still feel that way about it. And I thought that Microsoft's repertoire of games.
It's funny, and it's funny. Princess Christina actually in the chat says PlayStation fans don't even support Killzone. What makes you think they'll support a third-party shooter? That's a great point. I mean, here you have that's just and Boom said it a second ago.
Sinister says, to be fair, Christina, Killzone is shit.
It is shit. It is shit, but it's the only shit. It's the only shit they have.
Party game though, yeah.
It's the only shit they have.
Shooter.
And I mean, if we're gonna be like, it was funny because last generation, they're like, you shooter box. That's just where you put the shooters.
Here's the thing though, Mooch. Like this, I never got this argument right. Like everybody goes, Microsoft needs to invest in more single player exclusives, and nobody ever says Sony needs to invest in more multiplayer exclusives, right? And I always think that's funny. And you go, well, shouldn't Sony invest in more multiplayer shooters? Well, the third party does that. And I go, well, doesn't third party do the single player stuff too for Xbox? Right. Oh, stop making so much sense, God damn it. You know what I mean? It's like you never hear back from those people.
You know, I had a few people say to me, oh, you got an Xbox One X. How fun trying to find games you can play on at Xbox's No Games. You know, all that malarkey. And my response to every single one of them is like, well, it's funny you say that because mine came with 20 games.
Not only that, Alan,
how many PlayStation exclusives are there a year?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing. Sony didn't even release first-party exclusives this past year that many. It's like NAC, GT Sport, Horizon Zero Dawn. A lot of their stuff was just third-party stuff that just so happens to get to them because they're Japanese and they have a lot of Japanese support.
Yeah,
like, they're funded by Sony. You know, it's just and some of those could even come to Xbox at some point. So, like for me, it wasn't even as bad as people tried to make it out. They were just using it for list wars. And the funny thing is, the media was running with list wars. They're like Gravity Rush 2, Yakuza 0,
Gravity Rush 2, places out of business.
Yeah, it's like Nihon, Persona 10, whatever that is. I don't know which one it was, right? Like whatever. But it's like all these very niche titles that were third party. They weren't even Sony didn't pay for anything. You know, it's just so happens that they sell well in Japan, so they get it's easy enough to, I guess, put them in America too. So it's not like they did anything great or paid for them.
Let's talk about games for a second. Alan, you mentioned you got all those games
in
the box.
Games flopped horribly. Gravity Rush 2 sold
like
2 copies.
They all flopped.
Yakuza 0 sold
Persona
like negative.
did good apparently, but that was it.
Yeah. Hold on. Persona, let me point this out, sold mostly like something like 500,000 in Japan, and it's also on PS3. So.
And it just got servers turned off less than a year after release.
Yeah, Gravity Rush 2. In fact, I heard Gravity Rush 2 is actually negative. They actually owe people. You know what I mean?
They owe people a couple of bucks.
Like, here you go.
Now, Alan, did you get Super Lucky's Tale in your?
I did. And,
oh man, tryhard fan. If Yakuza 0 is your game of the year, you've had a piss poor year, my friend.
Yeah, try hard.
That's sorry, bro. My heart goes out to you.
That's
man.
a tough one to get your head around, man. I even watched some footage of it, and I was like, wow,
woo. Yeah.
I don't know. Man, you have to be on mushrooms and something else. A lot of opioids for that one. Yeah. But
you're
what did you think
of the epidemic?
What did you think? Have you played Super Lucky's Tales yet? Super Lucky Tale.
I have, and I really like it.
Is it a 5 out of 5?
Does it warrant a 5 out of 10?
No, it's more than that. Like, guys, this isn't a $70 game. This is, I believe, $30.
Yes, it's $30.
Should $30. Prefaced this like IGN's. I thought I watched IGN's review. They should have put 5.5 out of 5. It's not Mario, so it's not good.
You know, the thing is, right? It's not going to be Mario. You don't want it to clone Mario. You want it to be something different and unique, and that is what Super Lucky's Tale is. But because it has, different style camera and, some different controls, which I think are perfectly fine and add to the experience, some of the reviewers seemingly didn't like that. Now, I only saw IGN's review. I didn't look through any of the other ones.
Yeah, Rand just did a video today and put it up. He did his review.
I thought the game's really nice. It's very colorful. It's very relaxing. It's also quite a bit challenging, but not too challenging where you get really annoyed at it, but just challenging enough where it keeps your mind thinking. And I really like that aspect to it. The visuals are amazing on Xbox One X. I think it'll look great on the standard hardware as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot to like about this game for such a cheap price. I really think Xbox One X owners should be picking this up because of the price. It's a nice little launch title.
And here's the thing, it's priced right. You can get this and Cuphead for $50.
Exactly. It's a great little
Crap,
game.
is it playable for you right now?
I can't play it. It's not out to the 7th. Rand gets his stuff from Microsoft likely, and so was able to play review copy.
Yeah, he would have got a review copy.
I didn't put it. Like, I don't put in for first party stuff, to be honest with you. I know that sounds like super on point for like being a shill or a corporate whatever, but for first party titles, I buy them all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You support the
That's how I
same.
am.
No,
Yeah,
I don't
support
blame
them.
you. I agree. Same here. I'm looking forward to it. I always thought it was kind of like a Mario mixed with a Ratchet and Clank. I mean,
sorta. It is almost, if you were to take Mario and make a full-fledged third-person game, you know, it kind of like that. It kind of is, and it mixes 2D and 3D gameplay, and it's its own thing. It's its own thing. It's a unique kind of platformer. It's different.
Let me ask this question: Mike, Clowns, Avers, Boom. Boom. Don't answer. Boom. Of course, Boom's buying it.
It's already downloaded.
Yeah,
I
Boom.
just can't play
Boom's
it
like
yet.
I beat it yesterday. But Avers, are you buying it?
Yeah, I've got it pre-ordered.
Yeah, I don't have it pre-ordered, but I plan on buying it around Christmas for my kids.
I never let Xbox exclusives, or however you want to say it. I never let those get. I never let reviews impact me because I know how they work.
Right.
Everything is automatically down. You know, any kind of thing they'll jump on for the Xbox to hate on it. Like, remember this, Mooch, and I got shit for this too. Okay, so Recore, which I'm not a huge Recore fan, but it had some problems. And the funny thing was, a lot of the problems that Recore had, The Last Guardian had around the same time for PS4, right? And they didn't dock. In fact, The Last Guardian had one of the worst cameras apparently ever, and that game still ended up in the 80s Metacritic. So I definitely do think that there is a bias for that. Plus, we've seen some bias with GT Sport, which is like, I mean, they literally, when they were building this game, they must have been going, oh, we can throw that out, basically throw the whole goddamn game out, and it still gets a 75 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I think they're extra hard on Xbox games. I'm not saying that they can't be hard on PlayStation games too, but I feel like they're extra hard on Xbox games and not hard enough a lot of the times on the PlayStation games. You know what I mean? It's just like if it's too obvious, like the Order 1886, that was obviously going to get panned, right? A 3-hour game or 4-hour game or whatever. They couldn't not do it because then people would know. So it's like a catch-22 for some of these reviewers, you know what I mean? And then remember, Mooch, me and you bitched about this, right? We were like IGN gave the Order 1886 a shit review, and the next day they're like, "You're not crazy." This was their article. "You're not crazy if you love the Order 1886."
Yeah, so it's damage controlling their own bad review. So they're telling you this is a bad game, and they're like, "But if you're a Sony fan and you like it, it's okay." Like, what the fuck? Like, why is it all of a sudden like? Why does it like? And the same thing happened with Uncharted 4. I believe somebody, Vince something or another, gave it an 88 or an 86 or something. Not only did
it was on.
He got fired.
They got shit. Yeah, and then they got shit, and they had to change it, and they upped it to a 9.2 or something. Like that.
I think it got a 9, and he got canned. And of course, they're never going to talk about it. They probably had him sign an NDA, and they gave him a $10,000 check. They're like, "Sorry, we got to let you go. You let everybody down." What? I gave a review. I didn't know I was supposed to. I didn't know there was a scale. So I mean, everything is just so lopsided in this gaming media. Let's talk about this for a second, guys. This is interesting. The Last of Us 2 does a CGI, no gameplay again, guys. Sorry, I'm a The Last of Us fan, and I have to wait another 2 years for maybe some gameplay. But anyways, they showed this CGI, which to me personally is like any kind of commercial you'd watch in the middle of any show that's especially aired on HBO that I usually get up and get a snack in between. And meanwhile, they showed it, and everybody's saying, this is ridiculous.
You see that on The Walking Dead every episode.
Yes.
I can't believe the way that, I mean.
Listen, and the guy, I have to address this one guy. We do have a Sony guy. And listen, I'm not going to attack you, but Zweigatson in the chat.
He says
it's in
they
engine.
can sit there
Fine.
and shove that engine stuff up their ass because
and this goes for Xbox too, dude. If they show a Halo 6 and it's just Master Chief walking around in engine, get the fuck out of here with that. All I'm saying to you is that's bullshit, dude. I'm not a Last of Us fan. I want to see some gameplay at this point, okay? We saw at PSX. We saw Joel watching Ellie play the guitar and kick over a rotten peach. I saw that. All right. Now what am I watching? I'm watching something that really, except for the last few seconds with the clickers running at you, didn't mean anything to me.
A lot of people didn't know what the game was because it looks like some of their other guys.
What were they saying? They were like, "Days Gone." Days Gone.
Days Gone?
Gosh,
it's so great. Days Gone.
I genuinely thought they were announcing a new IP until the logo flashed up at the end.
Yeah. I mean, what I can't take is all the criticism it's getting over its content, over the violence.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
It is rated M for mature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But whether it's a PlayStation game or an Xbox game or a Switch game or a PC game, when it comes down to the narrative, the story behind it, if it's a mature game, why can't it have mature content? Everybody just needs to thicken their skin a little bit and get over this whole like, oh well, that doesn't jive with my with my specific interest in the whole society as a whole. It's like, well, you know what? Go fuck yourself. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing, right?
If you don't like it, just don't watch it.
Well, that's what I say. It should have been rated D for don't watch.
well, the thing is like everybody, they should be allowed to do what they want. One thing that I do like about Sony is the fact that they're like, hey, we trust our developers. They can do what they want. Microsoft wouldn't touch that type of game with the 10-foot pole. You know what I mean? Right. They don't, and so and a lot of people don't like them because of that. You know what I mean? Like Sony lets their developers kind of do what they want, whether there's violence towards whatever, because they got some shit for that too with the Detroit violence or whatever. And that's like that stuff happens. It's like you can't censor everything and then expect people to be all right. Like that's part of the problem nowadays is you're censoring people from so much shit that when they do have bad stuff happen, they're just like at a loss of what to actually fucking do. They're like, because they're never exposed to it. You know what I mean? Like, damn, let people. That's why there's ratings on these things. Movies have ratings. Video games have ratings. Music has ratings. Just follow the ratings and you'll be good, people. Okay.
Here's where we're at, and I know it's just, there's a little bit of conversation going on in the chat, and I think we should address it generally. And this goes for Xbox and PlayStation. Like, don't sit here like this goes for me too. I'm not going to sit there and brag. And crap is more excited than probably anyone I know. Well, except for Xbox 448, who we miss. By the way, shout out to Xbox 448. Hope you're feeling better, buddy, and we can't wait for your return. But what I want to say is this much. Except for Hexbot, I think Crap can't wait for Halo 6. If Crap finally at E3 2018 sees that Halo 6 is a CGI, I don't know how excited. You may be a little excited, Crap, but not over the top excited. You're going to be like, dude, you're this close? I can't see like an action shot, something in the game. Show me something in the game, please. That's why when I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, The Last of Us, what that showed me as a Last of Us fan is The Last of Us is very far away. It is very far away. 2019, 2020.
It could even be PS5 games at this point.
Crap. Remember something like history has a tendency to repeat itself. Crap. And The Last of Us came out the very last. What was it? It was 3 months, I think.
2013. Yeah.
Yeah, it came out just before the PS4 came out. I could see The Last of Us 2 being like before the curtain closes on PS4.
The last big PS4.
Yes, the last. And you know what? Not necessarily a bad move, right? Because you come out there, you've really learned how to squeeze every ounce out of the box, and you just do what you got to do. And when you leave on a high note. Very Seinfeld-ish, if you will. I don't know if you guys like the Seinfeld reference.
I did. No, I get it. You just had that Seinfeld talk.
We did. We had a Seinfeld talk earlier, so it was just in my mind. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, don't you guys see my point? Like showing CGIs at the Paris game, and this is one of my topics tonight that I do want to go over. Did the Paris game show? Did Sony show or prove enough?
No.
Did they?
No, they need to have gameplay. Like all these games, if they don't have gameplay, then the game's not coming out in the next 12 months. That's the way I see it.
Right. Well, you know what, Mike? Listen, Mike, and that's a fair assessment from a gamer's perspective. But I think that like even if you showed me something that was maybe 18 months out, I'd still be okay with it. But the problem is that for me personally, we've been doing this for so long. I'm really tired of the don't knock it till you try it, Mooch.
Yeah.
I've been playing games since the 80s, dude. Maybe some of you guys just picked up a controller for the first time in 2009, but I've been playing for a long time. I don't need to. I can knock it without trying it because I've played these types of games a million times. Don't show me a CGI and tell me it's around the corner. I know that means you're far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the problem was that they're like, this is the second part of our E3, and realistically, they showed the same shit they showed at E3 with
And
the
E3
one
before that.
It is.
Yeah,
And
the
E3 before that.
No, that is 100% true. You know what I mean? And it's like they showed a different part of it. And this is the problem that Sony's really kind of running up on is there's something called fatigue, right? Like people get tired. Like I don't want to see Sea of Thieves at next E3 for Microsoft, right? Like we've seen it for what, two and a half, and a Gamescom or whatever. Like I'm tired of seeing that damn game at E3. I'm tired of seeing God of War on the stage for them. I'm tired of seeing Spider-Man. We've seen it multiple times now. I'm tired of seeing,
Detroit.
Detroit, a different part of Detroit. It's like it's time to put your goddamn game out or shut up. But the problem is, did you notice like we're not seeing a Shenmue because they're worried about that. We're not seeing Death Stranding anymore because Death Stranding was just a way to sucker people into getting a PS4, thinking they're getting a Kojima game this generation when you're not. You know,
here's a good question for you, Crap, and hopefully someone from the panel also jumps in here. Are we seeing the same games from Sony because they don't have anything else?
They've already announced everything. Look, they announced that game Dreams from the developers.
Yeah, that's got canned. There's no doubt about that. That's got to be in the dump.
That's that fucking they did Little Big Planet, right?
Yes.
They announced that years ago. We haven't heard anything from it. The Wild or whatever announced years ago. Nothing. Like nobody mentions any of this stuff to Sony. Like these games could have been canned. You don't know. The problem is that, you know, like there was Deep Down. I know that's a third-party game, but you don't hear anything about it.
Yeah.
You know, this is just a problem. That's a problem with showing games too early. It's not just a Microsoft problem. It's a problem all around.
Yeah.
And and you know, Microsoft has got to learn, and they're going to learn this. This is one of my big problems. They go from one extreme to the other, announcing way too early, like Crackdown, Scalebound. These games got announced way too early.
Yep.
Now they're not announcing them
they
soon
won't
enough.
announce anything. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're like, oh man, we'll get canceled, and then they'll run us through the ringer.
Well,
This is how the industry goes, right? Remember when they got shit for showing CGI trailers?
Yeah.
Now it's all the rage.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Sony is an absolute. Sony is a genius at one thing. It's
Hey,
smoke and
You don't
mirrors.
even gotta say it's CGI. Just say it's in engine. That's enough for the fucking flipper fans to flap their flippers together and be like, Sony.
That's one of the
Sony.
things. That's what's going on in the chat right now. People are like,
You
"Well,
sucker me again."
show me what's
Woo.
going on beyond spring 2018." And the thing is,
Oh, there.
Microsoft's new MO is we're not going to show you anything until it's ready to come out.
I think it's okay to show a game a year and a half out, 18 months out, or whatever. I'm fine with that. If something happens, it happens. It's the name of the goddamn game.
Right.
I'll
I mean?
tell you what, if Crackdown 3, Sea of Thieves, and State of Decay 2 doesn't come out before E3 next year, then that's a Microsoft problem too, not just a Sony problem.
No. Yeah. No, it's very true. What do you guys think about EA Access possibly coming to PS4? I think it doesn't really matter.
I think it's good. I'll probably get it.
EA Access is, well, I wouldn't get it, but EA Access is definitely branded with Xbox at this point, right?
Yeah.
I always think of the Ghostbusters 2 when the Titanic showed up at the docks at the Ghost Titanic. It's like, hey, better late than never.
Better late than never.
Yeah, that's Cheech too.
I mean, but why would you buy it? Crap, that's an interesting comment.
You know why? Because
I'd love to hear it.
The games that are on there are going to be easy trophies. You know, you're gonna, you know what I mean? Yeah, like you don't have to buy the games then, right? So, so this is what I do. I pay for the year, $30, hop in there, play Battlefield, because you know Battlefield 1 going to be in there, Battlefront 2, whatever. Titanfall 2.
The Last Need for Speed is in there.
You're gonna play all those games over again and on the loneliest place on earth?
Well, no, I play them here and there. I play. Well, I actually haven't played it for a while, but you know, but because I've been so busy with my.
I would take all of Disney's slogans and then reverse them all for PS Plus.
I'm just saying, it would be. I would probably get it, right?
Right.
I think it's good. Like, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh man, they shouldn't have it.
You want to know what PS4 isn't going to get with EA Access? All of last generation's EA games like Dead Space 1, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3. All those back compat games that we have on EA Access for the Xbox One, you're not going to get those on PS4.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just so you know, like Mooch, like I'm the type of gamer. if I find a game that I really like, and I did this last gen, I'll play it on multiple platforms. Okay, like here, that's a dirty little secret. I did the Batman Arkham games. I did those on Xbox and PlayStation, PS3 and Xbox 360. In fact, I beat Arkham Asylum on 360. Then I beat the Game of the Year edition, which had different achievements on 360. Then I beat it on PS3. Then I beat the remastered on Xbox One. I love that game, right? So it's like same thing with Mass Effect.
You very conveniently hide from this MO, but you're an achievement guy, crap, and you don't like to say it, but you are.
No, I like achievements.
I could care less.
Yeah, I'm not like trying to get 1,000.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I beat South Park, Fractured But Whole, and I got like 700 gamer score off that. Perfect. You know what I mean? That's like to me.
I got just under 800 on that. That was a great game for achievement.
You're not 1,000 guy. I get that, but you're still an achievement guy. You want over 400 or 500 out of your effort.
$60 on a game. That's why I was so pissed at Gears, and then they fixed that finally. But
let me ask that question. I know crap, and I know Boom now because Boom just answered. But Avers, I'll start with you. What do you think? Are you an achievement guy?
You know, I go back and forth between being an achievement person and not. I'll go a few years where I don't really care about it as much. But lately, I have been an achievement guy. I think it was 18,000 last month.
Whoa.
Which is the most I've ever done in 1 month, and I was really trying to knock out.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
wow.
I was trying to knock out a huge section of my backlog because I've been going on. Anybody that's watched my channel for a while now knows I've been going on about that for quite a long time.
Telltale games are great for that. By the way.
Yeah, that was a few of them right there. The Telltale knocked out some indies. Yeah, working on Shadow of Mordor.
Clowns, are you an achievement guy?
Yeah, you know, I gotta agree with crap on this one, Mooch. When it comes
I'm
to
alone here.
paying $60, you want to get something out of it.
I personally, here's my thing. I could give
That's
a
why
shit.
Destiny 2 bothered me so much, right?
Yeah,
like,
but you lose all. You lose. What are you talking about?
Nothing for playing the
If
campaign.
if you just play the campaign on all 3 characters, you'll end up with over 500.
No
all
fucking
3
way.
characters,
Yes, you
though.
will.
That's a lot of time.
Yes, you will. It's not that much time.
It's too much to go through.
It's probably 30 hours, 25 hours.
Oh man, I don't want to put 25, 30 hours in.
First 500 achievement it's fine.
Dude, I put in 15 hours in South Park and I got like 700.
I think I'm over 600.
Wow.
Achievement points and I could do more. I just haven't done the odd. Like I could get another 80 if I just went and signed up for Trials of Osiris, and I just haven't done that.
And I'm like, I haven't checked the Call of Duty ones, but I'm hoping Call of Duty World War II throws some at you for the campaign.
I mean,
man.
here's if Mikey Barra gets on tomorrow and he's like, we are, and he won't say this because he's an achievement guy, but like if he was like, we are eliminating achievements, I'd be like, it's Saturday.
The
entire Xbox community would melt.
They would flip the fuck out. You know what? This was such. You have to remember this. When Microsoft announced that with the 360, like no console had ever done that. It was such a thing that Sony fans flipped the fuck out. And Sony didn't have trophies at the beginning of the generation.
No, it was like PS3. 2 years later.
It wasn't until 2009 that they made them mandatory. So if you were like had a PS3 from 2007, there was a 2-year thing. Like Call of Duty 4 on PS3, there's no trophies on that. You know what I mean? Like you always have to check.
I mean, I'm going to the extreme with saying removal. Of course, the removal will never happen. What I'm saying to you though is that like to not play a game because of achievements is to me is it's ridiculous.
You know, I agree with you. It is ridiculous, but when you put the work in, you kind of want to be rewarded. And they did that from the beginning of the 360. And I agree with crap. Before they fixed Gears of War 4, I finished the game. I put about 30 hours in. I think I had 115 or 120 gamer score. I was really pissed about that. I
do understand your point there. Since it's implemented into the system by putting your time in, you should get something. But I will say this much: I find it. See, there's where I'm anti what crap's saying. I find a cheese ball like where it's like if you just finish the game, you get 700. I think there's
and the downside is you have people that buy games just for the achievements. They'll buy like a cheap $2 indie just to get the 1,000 gamer score.
Right.
And so like, I'm not an achievement hunter when it comes to buying games, but what I cannot stand is achievements that are worth 2 or 3 or 4 points. Make that worth 5 points at the very minimum. That should be just a standard.
Well, wasn't like for me Gears of War 4 level like 5
fucking gamer score, and it was like I had like 36 or 40 achievements on Gears 4, and I had less than 200 gamer score off that until they updated it, right? Because everybody bitched about that.
Let me give a quick example of why I thought achievements. When I saw achievements come out in 360, I actually said this to a buddy of mine. They're like, what do you think this whole thing's about? I go, well, here's my thing. I go, there's a lot of work that these developers put into these games, like side missions and quests and collectibles. And I'm like, they put them all over the place, and people without achievements are blowing right by them because they're like, fuck that. Why am I going to look for 50 skulls? Somebody close a window. But, you know, it's like, what I was going to say was like, but then when I saw these achievements, they're like, if you get all the collectibles, you get 100 points. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm like, that's really cool. That makes me want to go do the achievements as far as the collectibles and the side missions. But when crap's like, I'm not playing it if I just run through the main campaign. Like, running through the main campaign is what you're supposed to do in a game. That's like if you just get up and go to work every day, someone's supposed to pay you extra. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, for me, achievements are quality when you do the stuff that's above and beyond the game.
No, I like for me.
Right? Don't you guys see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying, but for me personally, they should, like, every game should throw you 20.
I think you should get 100 to 200 achievements for completing the game. That's what you're supposed to do.
No,
that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but you get 200 for beating a game, but also 20 per chapter or whatever. How much better would Witcher 3 have
starting
been?
to sound like Bernie. My point is, I don't understand. Like, why is it all of a sudden?
How much better would Witcher 3 have been if you got fucking chapter-based achievements? Every time you beat a story-based chapter, they threw a 20 at you. Like, that would have really kept me going in that game.
I think you need to get like at least 400 for getting through a single player campaign. Maybe give another 100 or 200 for doing special things during the campaign.
Yeah.
Leave the rest for multiplayer. If it's not multiplayer, then just by beating a campaign, you should get at least 600 gamer score just by beating a campaign.
I think if you beat the campaign on hard, anywhere from 200 to 300. Everything else should be collectible. Whoa. Hear me out. Collectibles, side quests. These guys are putting a lot of time in as developers.
Well, you're telling me now developers that don't put a lot of time in.
Then, well, you're talking about like a game, like a Telltale game.
No, I'm talking like a game like
Telltale game,
like a $2 game on.
You take
on
achievements.
Xbox
You take
Live,
achievements
like
out of Telltale games, and crap will never play one.
Oh no! Well, yeah,
and that's my point. That's my point. So are we playing the games, or are we playing for like for points?
Why not both? Right? Like, for me personally, I probably wouldn't play any. That's why, like, as good as Mario is, that's like a 15-20 minute at a time game for me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I'm not gonna invest hours and hours at a time into that. Same thing with the original Xbox backwards compatibility. Although I did with KOTOR, I'm about halfway through that. But you know what I mean? For the most part.
Alan, where are you, Alan, on achievements? Are you a diehard achievement guy, or you'd play it if it had 0 achievements?
It's kind of like a game-by-game basis for me. One time I was kind of like a diehard where I always tried to aim for like every achievement in every game. But now it's kind of like I try to get like the achievements that are quite easily doable. So stuff like playing through the campaign, some of the easy side quests or side objectives, things like that. But I won't do anything extreme like collecting over 100 collectibles to unlock an achievement.
Right. And I'm with that. I guess I'm exactly in Alan's camp. I do side quests because I want to get the most out of the game. Like, I'm playing The Evil Within. I'm on chapter 10 and I'm enjoying it, and I'm playing as I've done all the side quests. Any collectible that I run into, I do. If there's a puzzle that's a side quest thing, I do it. But like, I'm definitely like, there's the keys you collect. I definitely miss like 4 or 5 keys. But like, oh no, I'm not going to get achievements.
I don't really do that many side quest stuff.
I do all side quests. You know, in Assassin's Creed Origins, I'll probably pass away first. Like, I'll never finish. Like, I won't play that game. Like, I'm going to play Assassin's. My goal, if anyone wants to know, Mooch, what the hell are you doing this like holiday in the spring? I'm playing AC Origins, and I'm going back where I left off, and I'm playing The Witcher 3.
Here's the thing, though, Mooch. Here's the great thing about achievements. If you don't like them, you don't have to pay attention to them. If you like them, boom, they got you covered. So
and that's fine, crap. And I like that mantra, but you have to take that mantra, and I have to put that bumper sticker on the back of your car because you have to live by it too. Meaning, if they're there,
like, I like them, so it's good for me. I really care.
Right,
about
but you like games, right? So if you like games, you need to put that aside and enjoy the game.
Like the achievements, when you hear that plink, you're like, hell yeah, what did I just get? You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm pretty sure there's a cheap 99-cent app that can reiterate that sound effect.
It's not about an app or anything like that. It's about actually getting something for going forward. That's why, like, Nintendo, to me, really, I would probably buy more games on the Nintendo platform.
I do agree with you to a certain extent on that. I mean, Nintendo should do something. They don't do any. My main thing with Nintendo is I have a lot of friends that are on Switch, and just now, when you get on, you can see, like, I see Boom. I have Boom on there. I have JKB. I have Crap. When I see you guys playing, if you guys are playing Super Mario, I can see you guys online. But it's not nearly as interactive as, of course, Xbox One. Well, speaking of that, let's talk about that, guys. Mario Odyssey sold over 3 million copies, I believe.
Dude, that's not a surprise at all.
Not at all.
I mean, it's Mario.
But isn't that something how, like, everybody was like, everybody made fun of console gaming's dead in 2012. Console gaming's dead in 2012. Not even close. And now people are like, Nintendo's dead. Nintendo's dead.
The one thing I just kind of want to bring this back around to the Xbox real quick. And we're still going to talk about Mario, of course. Mario selling 3 million copies in
Mario.
There it is. I said it. Mario. Sorry. Mario selling 3 million copies in 2 days should prove to the Microsoft execs that a good single player game will sell.
Dude, that game is fantastic.
I do have to point this out, though, right?
What's that?
Microsoft, they might very well see, hey, you're right, 3 million, but guess what? I can already hear Phil go, that ain't making them anything.
Well, and also, like, okay, so Mario is selling great. It's a single-player experience, but really, how many other exclusives has the Switch gotten in the past 3 months?
Well, you have to. You know what? You really have to look at it this year. Whether you like Nintendo or you don't, they knocked it out of the park this year. I mean, you have Zelda, you have Splatoon 2. You have Mario and Rabbids. You have the new Mario game. Mario.
And it's also Wolfenstein.
Yeah, it is. It's Wolfenstein. He said Steen. That's great. I love it.
You got Splatoon 2. I mean, okay, Mario Kart 8. Now I'm going to second guess myself. Mario Kart 8, even though it was technically a re-release, was still had added stuff. So I think Nintendo really knocked it out of the park, which is why the Switch is winning NPDs.
Well, even their SNES Mini is winning NPDs. That sold more. That sold almost 2 million already. So that actually beat the PS4 and Xbox One in the recent NPDs.
Nintendo is. I've heard Mooch say this numerous times. Nintendo is basically the Disney of video games.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really argue with that. I agree.
No, who else has a Switch here? I know Boom has a Switch.
I
has a Switch. Alan, do you have a Switch?
I do.
Are you playing Mario?
I haven't got it yet. I don't actually use my Switch that often. It's
Well,
mainly
not-
if
not
I
many-
travel somewhere.
Not many really do, but when we do, we play Mario. Yeah. What about you, clowns? You playing it?
Yeah, I mean, I play it every now and then. I do what Crap does. I pick it up 20 minutes at a time, put it down. I just feel like if I'm not getting a bunch of achievements at once, I don't have to rush through it and try to get.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, man.
How did you guys playing games in the 80s and 90s? Were you just like?
Yeah, it was a little bit different back then, but now it's like what did you do before you had a microwave or what? You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, it sucked.
What did you guys play in the 90s and your little sibling was like 90 points?
I mean, what you guys do?
What happened?
Bragging rights.
We've always been about that kind of thing. It used to be who could get the high score. That's just an achievement.
Bragging right. If somebody was like, "Hey, Mooch, I got more achievement points than you," my right eyebrow would go way up to my hairline and be like, "Who the fuck cares?" I mean, congratulations.
Score. Like, yeah,
I mean, who cares?
I care.
No, but you want to talk about high score? That you want to brag in the freaking the finish of a multiplayer round when I'm 60-9 and you're 2-3. That's when you brag. Now when you're like, I got more achievement points.
But Mooch, when you were a kid, do you remember like Blockbuster having competitions for like the Genesis?
Yeah. No, I remember that stuff. I do.
As we wrap up the evening.
Oh crap! Damn you! Such a great discussion.
It was. I even sent you a DM. I even sent you a DM.
Oh, did you? I'm not even looking at Twitter tonight. Yeah. That's how into this conversation I was. There it is. There's crap with the Judge Judy.
He has the big stick. He pulls you off stage.
I love.
I do the same shit to him that he does to me.
I do.
Supposedly supposed to do some Call of Duty stream later. So
That's true. You know, somebody in the chat goes, Mooch is old school. Things change. Listen, guys, you understand. I love changing with the times. I love.
Look, you guys also have to understand that Mooch sometimes just likes to argue.
I do. Well, listen, it is a show, folks, right? We do have to put on a show. Are we not here to entertain you?
Yes,
it is what we do, folks. It is what we do. Let's start in reverse. I want to start with Alan. Alan, thanks for coming on. Even with the clocks going back tonight, folks, Alan came on.
Did they go back tonight or did they go back Saturday?
Oh, tomorrow. Pardon me. Tomorrow.
Yeah,
For Alan, it was tonight, I believe.
No, for us, it was actually last weekend. They went back.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, it's still good that we mentioned it earlier because Alan was like, oh, shit, thank God you brought that up, although it's about an hour late. Alan, great to have you here, bro. Your knowledge on Xbox, we didn't really tap into your Forza knowledge tonight like we have in the past, but there's just so much to talk about. Thanks for being here, and let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. It was really good to talk about the Xbox One X and everything I've been doing on it. So you can find me under the name Beetle Comet on Twitter, YouTube, Mixer. And actually on my YouTube channel now, you can get my Xbox One X unboxing and also have Quantum Break and Halo 5 Xbox One X capture on there with more games to come in the very near future.
Awesome. Alan, can't tell you how great it is to have you as a friend of the show, a friend of myself personally. It's great to be able to bang Xbox and gaming knowledge off of you, and you're very insightful. So thank you for being here tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And then my next guest here, Avers, who does G4G Media with Moxie. You guys are fantastic. I really, and I like to just give you guys a plug here. These guys do a fantastic job, guys. You have to go on there and check them out. Listen, I'm anti-gaming media. You guys know that. I don't like what majority of them are doing out there. But Avers and Moxie, they come at you with cold, hard facts. But the reason I enjoy it is I kind of talk about it from a top level. These guys dig down and get articles. Whenever they say something, they have proof behind it. So, Avers, where can people find you? And thanks for being here tonight.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that huge compliment as well. On Twitter, it is Avers_G4G Media. And then on YouTube, it is G-4-G and then Media. So both of those will be on my Twitter, so you can see them there as well.
Awesome, Avers. And this is not the last time you'll be on, and we do have to get Moxie back on. She was on a few weeks back, but we got to get her back on as well. I'd like to have you both on here because
that'd be awesome.
I think you both on here would be an interesting dynamic because even though you guys do very well with each other on stage and doing it during your show, I think to have you guys on here talking about these random topics we talk about, I'd love to see how you guys actually discuss certain things and whether you get along or don't. Not get along, but me and Crap are the same way, right? We have our own show. And there's times me and Crap are completely on the same page, and as you can tell with achievements, not so much. But it's all right. It's all right.
Awesome.
It makes great radio. It is what it is, folks. Radio, internet, same difference. Magic Mike, buddy, thanks for being here tonight. It was last minute, and can't thank you enough. Console Corner is where I first got a chance to actually hang out with you first time, and just looking forward to having you back on the show whenever Fridays are open. Where can people find you?
Hey, absolutely. Again, Mooch, thank you so much for having me on tonight. I absolutely had a blast here with everybody on the panel. And everybody in the chat, if you're interested, you can find me on Twitter at MagicMike83. You can find me on GKB's channel every Tuesday night for Console Corner. We're going to have a Xbox One X launch party this Tuesday night coming up.
Nice.
And you can also, I've got a YouTube channel. I don't do too much with it, but if you search for Magic Mike's Minutes, you might find it.
Very cool, very cool. Thank you again, Mike. Appreciate that. Go to some of my usual suspects. My buddy, we call it from down under. That's how far New York from Florida is. Clowns, thanks for being here tonight. I know you had a lot of family stuff. Still made time for CrossFire. You got to respect that. Thank you so much. Where can people find you, bro?
You can check me out and our Four Guys Recorders out every Thursday, 7:30 p.m. And, of course, you can't miss CrossFire. Love this show. And thank you, Crap, for not stealing my calzone as much. You may have took a third this time, but it wasn't the whole calzone, so we're good.
See, they live close enough where stealing food is legit, folks. Okay? It's true. They call him Signore Bombastic on CCC. We call him Boom Boom. Thanks for being here tonight. It's always good to hear your opinion on subjects we talk about. Me and you get a chance to bullshit and talk on Twitter every day anyways. But where can people find you and your new YouTube channel, buddy?
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And obviously, I always say back that you're responsible for, allowing me to do what I'm doing now because you gave me the platform. And, I've said it privately to you and I'll say it publicly. It's a huge thanks to you for giving me an opportunity.
Buddy, it's all on you, man. Listen, I tell people all the time, you know, Zaire did the same thing for me, gave me a shot on BGST. But as Zaire told me, and I've told you offline, same thing. Once the mic says live, it's all on you. So this is all you, buddy. People are big fans of the Boom, and I think your channel is going to be very successful. I will help it in any way I can.
Well, I appreciate it. But you can find me on Twitter easily at Mr. Boomstick XL, and my new channel launched today, Double Barrel Gaming. It only has one video, which is just basically an introduction video.
More than Hellhammer.
Oh, well. I'm going to be dropping more content next week. I'm probably going to be doing first impressions with the X. So look forward to more content. And listen, again, thanks to you, and the community has been super supportive. I cannot thank the Xbox and Twitter community enough.
Outstanding, Boom. Always good to have you. And last but certainly not least, the master of disaster, my co-host on MNC Mornings, the Crap Gamer. Crap, thanks for being here tonight, buddy. Where can people find you? Not that they don't know already.
Crap Gamer Reviews, and we've got we're giving away the Xbox One X. That's in the link below, and we're doing we're doing MNC Morning Sunday.
Yes.
And of course we're going to remind everybody that you're going to set your clocks back, so it'll be weird. And we're also doing a launch Xbox One X launch MNC evenings on Monday, and we're giving away Assassin's Creed Origins on the Xbox One. You have to watch live, and you're going to see the pony, and then that's going to be your cue to Skype in. So make sure you guys have Skype and MC Space Mornings downloaded, because that's how we're giving it away. Yeah, it's going to be great shows. We got a lot of cool stuff planned. We just recorded a cool little thing today, so it's going to be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. You know, we're going to hype everybody up for the Xbox One X, and it's going to be great.
No, it's going to be a great show. Crap, thanks for that plug. Honestly, I'll reiterate it slightly. We've got next Friday will be CrossFire, but this Sunday we do have MNC Mornings on my channel. I believe we're going to be doing the special Xbox One X Eve pre-launch on Crap's channel. We are doing
my channel.
Plenty of giveaways, giving away Assassin's Creed. I love how we're doing the Assassin's Creed giveaway with a pony prize. Nothing like seeing a pony run across the field that makes you just want to win a game.
Maybe Jay has the little pony that we suggested with.
Yes, we'll see if Jay
we'll
did
see how that goes.
We'll find it out.
Also, supposedly Jay's unveiling his new icon.
Yes, there'll be a new icon
Sunday
for J-Dub, so just more anticipation. I know all you guys won't even sleep all weekend wondering what animal he picked. But listen, it will be great. I want to thank everybody that did donate to the Super Chat. I did click on that. It was one click of a button, and a lot of people did help out. Appreciate it. The Mooch Maniacs are there. You are heard. We'll be back next Friday. Guys, thank you. The panel, thank you. We'll see you next week.